Welcome, everybody, to Wolves After Dark. We've got an exciting one for you guys today. We are doing giveaways. We are doing the Suns, Wolves preview, predictions, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be a fun time. We're ready. How are you feeling, Ashwin, going into the playoffs?
Feeling excited, especially after yesterday's play-in games, kind of getting me ramped up. A little teaser, little appetite, a little tapas of action. I think it was really exciting to see teams kind of play hard for just a chance to play in the playoffs. I mean, we were that team years before, and we're not that team anymore. Kind of gives us like a step up, a leg up in terms of like rest recovery. We got a chance to see some of our players, post practice, kind of talk a little bit about the upcoming series and kind of what their expectations are. And yeah, sign me up, man. I feel like this is going to go distance, and I think we would want nothing more. Like I want to see us challenged. I want to see us rebound from the games we've had against them this year. I feel like like uh, we should be kidding ourselves if we're going to be swept, because we're going to make adjustments. We're going to see changes, and we're just not going to bow down. Like and to a lot of extent, I'm excited to see that. Like, what are we going to do when it's tough, and how are we going to
Yeah.
adjust? How are we
Yeah.
going to make sure that we get something out of this?
Because we need to. Yeah. I mean, this is like normal progression, I feel like. And I feel like this is, we were kind of hoping going into the playoffs. Like, of course, we wanted the 1 seed, and we would have loved to be in the situation that the OKC Thunder are in right now, where they're going up against the Pelicans team, or I guess the Kings, or whoever it may be. And it's probably not going to be the hardest of series. um, but this is how it should be. We're going to go up against somebody that we need to learn to win against, and then, assuming we make it to the next round, we're gonna have to learn to win against the Nuggets as well. So, before we get too deep into any previews, if we get to 100 likes on this stream or video, if you're watching it later, we are giving away tickets to Game 2. We already have tickets for those loyal Discord members. Going actually in like an hour, almost exactly, they will be gone. So if you're watching the VOD, sorry, it's too late. Those Discord tickets currently for game 1 are only for long-term members over than 48 hours or something like that. So if you just join the Discord now, we're going to re-roll. But for number 2, game 2, that's for anybody. All bets are off. Can be anybody. So we're going to do that. We're going to do a jersey giveaway later for hitting 2,000 followers on Twitter. By the way, shout out our Twitter. So that's super exciting. And then we were going to give away some merch too, probably like 3 shirts or something like that. We got all kinds of stuff going on. So exciting day. Exciting day, but honestly, it's just like a super thankful day for all of the support that we've been given from everyone. Super exciting. I mean, we have too many people to name, honestly, but you know who you are. Special shout out to Crone, who has partially sponsored some of these giveaways tonight. But really, it's everybody from Crone to Jarvis to Eric to, King Dave. There's too many people to name. Anybody that's been a member, really, we appreciate you all joining the ride of the season. But play Big Boy's song. What are you talking about? Anyways, as the police sirens blare in my apartment, do we want to jump into some previews and talk about our thoughts going into this series? Yeah. I did already, but a little deeper.
Cameron, that was
sensational.
I can't believe we're doing all that. I think that's so fun, and we cherish you guys more than you know. We would not be doing this without you guys. Timberwolves, what a hell of a season, and now we get to face up against like our nemesis apparently from the year in Phoenix. Everything that we have kind of procured, what have we manufactured our defensive style towards the mid-range, where everyone was like saying, hey, mid-range is the most inefficient shot, and to a large degree it's correct. And then here comes fucking Kyrie Irving and a couple others, just like DeJounte Murray's and the others, and they just kind of like kill those metrics. They say, hey, mid-range be damned, like we're gonna establish ourselves back. And so the mid-range is back in kind of like in a big way. And they made some changes in the offseason. This is Phoenix, and early onsets weren't really rewarding them because they got injured. Beal was in and out of the roster most of the season. Um, they had maybe regrets of losing Chris Paul, and they have like Frank Vogel as their coach,
They
and
did, yeah.
they didn't see a whole lot of like early success. KD is now the same age as uh, he's like 36 or 37 now, so he's like up there in age, and
Mhm.
just the chemistry was like not there. They went and got Nurkic and Yusuf Nurkic Nurkic. Jesus, and like in a large way, they were struggling to find themselves.
Yeah.
But so I think their season's record and maybe that first game against them have been kind of they're kind of a decoy, a mirage. They're like, let's not look and pay attention to them. We even played against them at the end of back to back after that fucking headlock game from Draymond Green,
Yes,
right? So,
exactly, yes.
like in terms of a season review, we went through so much, and they went through
Mhm,
an equal amount of shit, like to find
mhm,
their identity. Now they might be peaking right now, but they're peaking in a way where we probably aren't equipped to defend. Hey, we shouldn't like discount the fact that we have Nikhil Alexander Walker, Mike Conley, and Anthony Edwards and Jaden, who all love to defend,
mhm.
and they're all a perimeter team.
Yeah,
They have one dude who's big, who gets into foul trouble every game, and then they have to rely on Katie at the five. In terms of getting hype,
mhm.
let's stay big and let's like pound down low. They can't keep up with that. Their mid range shot to our post presence is going to be quite outstanding. Like we need to stay big, or if it's just like not working, we have ability to change and have variables and potentially flexibility in terms of going small with them and having Nas at the five or Cat
Yeah,
at the five. We could have Ant at the
or
four. Like we could do a lot.
you could go kinda crazy too, like, I mean, we've played Kyle pretty deep in our roster,
Yeah,
like, we could go Kyle 4 or 5, something like that. Um,
exactly. I mean, I'd be remiss
we
to
have
think that like
options.
they're gonna they're gonna make some shots
Yeah.
and shoot a shoot in a lot of ways. Defense really is expounded in the postseason, really kind of amplified in the postseason, and but shooters win. Like typically a better offense uh,
Yeah.
kind of wins out over a defense. Our identity has
Mhm.
been defense, and our identity has gotten us this far. We should
I
stay
think
proud
that
about it too.
we should. We definitely should. I think the thing that concerns me and what I was kind of thinking through in my head when looking at this series, I mean, I've been thinking about it a lot, but um, they really like obviously our defense is superior, but and obviously their offense is superior to ours. I think because they have obviously they have KD, they have Beal, they have Booker, and then on top of it, they've got like what the top 3 point shooting player in the league in Grayson Allen. So like
Yeah,
even if you hypothetically stop completely two of them, you've got two people that could very well win themselves a game just based off of their shooting. Like if you're like, you know what, we stopped KD and we stopped Beal tonight. Booker can go off for 70. I mean, we've literally seen that. And Grayson Allen, he has the ability to do this as well. Obviously, maybe not to the same playmaking ability as these others, but he is a shooter. He can drive. He is a scary, scary player for them. And it seems like the things that we've kind of talked about not wanting to do during the season and kind of like complained about in streams and stuff like that is like, oh, we hate when we let Rudy cook or let Cat kind of post up, and that's always been kind of a concern. These are things that we're probably going to have to rely on, and based off of what the players have been saying in some regards, um, might it seems like it's just going to happen. Ant was talking about how Cat is our best player, and he's saying like we're going to have to run through Cat, and they're Finch is talking about using the bigs and taking advantage of their size. Um, we're gonna see some different we're not totally different basketball, but we are definitely gonna see some things that we maybe didn't love. Maybe it works better in the playoffs. I don't know. Don't like saying that though. I don't like saying
no,
maybe it works better in the playoffs.
I actually totally agree. And actually, we're gonna have some questions defined or even brought up through the series. Like
Yeah.
was it cool that we stayed true to this double big lineup, the Connolly, emphatic like move, make your move to instill your mark on this league, and or on this team rather. Sorry, and was it cool that we didn't like make actually any moves? We just got like a Monte Morris, like here's some 5 minutes here and there. We didn't actually do any trades at trade deadline. This
Mhm.
was like our window. Are we really sure? Can we double down? And we are, as in terms of going into the second apron. But like, can we double down on this fact that we're going to be in the big lineup? And you saw it, we saw it. Like everyone saw, the forecast of the West was nonsense. It was super volatile. But every team like has some sort of versatility, like except for Phoenix. Like they can play
Yeah.
big, they can play small. Most teams like don't have as big of a team as we do, but we were prepping for like a Denver to fix the Denver issues.
Yeah.
Like we got
Yep.
Gobert to fix the Memphis issues,
Yes,
honestly.
exactly, exactly.
And so like now we're faced up with another test which like honestly like you saw how we bounced back throughout the season. You saw like how we were never like super burnt like blown out in any real game except for a couple games against the Suns. But like
Yeah.
out throughout the whole season. And my final take before I'll pass it off to you is like I feel like those were the right moves. We didn't need to make these trades because I think we trusted in ourselves and we trusted in the system. We
Mhm.
built some sort of like chemistry from within. We had some peaks and we had some valleys in terms of like, you know, um, like the ant explosion early in the season, the ant like kind of meteoric rise midway through
Yeah.
the season.
Yep.
We had a healthy amount of cat before he got injured. And then Gobert is going to been like, one of the MVPs of our team this year. And who
Yeah.
would have
Oh,
saw like who would have saw like this actually working? The two big lineups. So we have to like tip our hat to like the system,
we do.
the recognition of like trying this, and maybe it's like fool's gold to say and praise without like seeing the results in the postseason. But like I have a
Yeah.
feeling that like it's just not going to be this easy for Phoenix. It was easy that for them at in the postseason in the regular season, but it like you just saw like the Phoenix or the Philly Miami game. It was fucking like
It was different.
it was
Yeah.
so
It
different.
Yeah, exactly. And like these teams, given it's different with those teams because there are a lot of veterans, and the Suns also have a decent amount of veterans too. Not to say that we don't like obviously Gobert, but like the veterans that we have, like Gobert and Towns, have not had a ton of success in the playoffs. Um,
Mhm.
However, I was able to, as we were talking here, pull
Uh,
up those three graphs that I was talking about. Now, I need there's a content warning here.
NSFW.
If you are queasy at the color orange
Oh yeah.
and lots of it, look away. Um, but this is the lead tracker and kind of like the game flow for all three games between us this year. So here's let's see. This is game one, and let me double check. I'm going to share it here in a second. I believe this is the first game of the season. A little bit different of a game. Here, let me share here.
Ooh,
So
that's
this
very
is game
orange.
one. This is very
Yeah,
orange, and these little peaks down here go to 25. Actually, and this one almost goes to 30. So that's danger. We don't love that. Oh, here, let me reformat a little bit and zoom. Well, the zooming doesn't do anything good. But you can see this is the first game. The first game was also very strange because there was multiple players that didn't play for both teams, I believe. Um, or it was Beal was out, so they didn't have Beal at all. Okogie was playing a lot of minutes and hit three threes against us.
yeah.
Super weird game. So not necessarily like the best game to really like take into effect. Now let's go to the next game. I believe this is the one. Oh, actually, let me see. Let's see. This is the one. The second game of the season. Let me share this tab instead.
That was like 9-10
Wait,
days ago.
it looks the same. Yeah, this is the one that was a 10-point game, which was really, as you can see here, 20 plus. Until we had like Luca Garza, Josh Minot, and like I think Leonard Miller hit a three or something like that. So again, there's absolutely no blue on this chart. This game was one that I believe, actually, Towns, I think, was not back for this one. Yeah, no, Towns just got back for the last couple games. So Towns was not in for this one. This was the Nas game where he went 3 of 13, Ant went 6 of 19, and that
Nas
was kind of
game.
our offensive story.
Yeah.
Whereas you look at the Suns, and it's Durant goes 9 of 14, Nurkic goes 5 of 11, Bradley Beal 6 of 9. I mean, they were just able to very easily dominate us in that game. Now, the most recent game, as we all kind of remember, let
Show
me
me
share
some
this.
blue. Show me some blue.
Here's
Give me some
some
confidence. No.
orange. Uh-oh. We have a problem. Actually, there is a little blue. There's one blue right there.
Yeah, nice.
And then you know what happened? Cat did a behind the back pass and
Immediately.
turned it over immediately. And we never got the lead back. I'm not blaming it on that. I'm just joking. But
But hey, we learned. You learned from him sitting for 4.5 weeks.
yeah. So yeah, concerning charts here. You're right though. I mean, watching the game that we just watched between the Heat and the 76ers, like I think a lot of people were thinking more so that like the Heat were probably going to win this game. And the 76ers for a lot of it were, and then they just came back because of Chicken. Chicken drove them to victory. But they were really strong in that. So that's I hate to make
Weird.
it so negative right off
Yeah,
the
what the
bat,
fuck?
but it is
Positive
a
vibes
fact,
only.
and you need to understand it before we go into the season or into the series. And so does the team. I mean, the team is obviously aware of this. This is not like news to them. But it's hard to come away with too many like plans of like this is what we need. This is what worked for us. Really, one thing that did work for us is that we did get Nurkic out of the game. Apparently, there's a lot of people talking about how when Nurkic is out, that's like their most negative minute moment for them. So, like, if you can get him in foul trouble, that's a good thing because when they take Eubanks in, it's just like a totally different game. Problem being is that our bigs aren't necessarily so much of the foul drawing bigs. Gobert can at times do that, but it's tricky to get his hands are, you know, they're not the best when it comes to close to rim scenarios or just even catching it at all. um, so drawing those fouls could be a challenge. Um, but that's an interesting fact to take a look at there for that. Also, I think we're 1 and 11 in the last 12 games against them. So
But this is not the 13th game.
but they
There's no
haven't played
stats
a
about the
13th
13th
game.
game. There's no stats about that. Cameron, take your Wolves hat, shirt, clothing, Dawn apparel off for a second, and just play the fan of the NBA and or you're a fan of Kendrick Perkins and like just normal nonsense generalities. And you look at the playoffs and you're looking at every matchup. Everything looks exciting, like on the at least on the West side. What's
Mhm.
like the most attractive series for you? Like, what are you going to tune into the most or pay attention to the most?
Oh,
And why is it the Timberwolves and Suns series?
I mean, I do think the Timberwolves Suns, if even if I wasn't a fan, would be an interesting one. I keep trying to actually. It's funny you mentioned that. I have been thinking about that in more of like a third person, or I don't even know, like different view of it, taking myself out of it. Um, which is I was hoping for a later game on Saturday because I don't want to
Yeah,
go to a 2:30 game.
I don't want to wake up for a
But
12:30 game.
yeah, I know on the West Coast. It's so yeah, I've been thinking like, oh well, I think that's a pretty interesting matchup. And I think the national perspective is showing this a lot closer than maybe how I view this in my mind. They seem to be going back and forth a lot because Phoenix has been inconsistent this year, and the Timberwolves have been really consistent almost all year. I mean, we've really you could take almost any stretch of the season, and we're at like a 60 to 70% win rate. So it's I think from the national perspective, people are very interested in this. Um, but we'll get to my own predictions and takes in a minute here. But I think this is an interesting one. But I do think, unfortunately, and I'm sorry to say this in front of you, Ashwin, I do think Denver versus the Lakers is a very intriguing series, even though the Lakers
Anyone want to
got
co-host with me?
swept. even
Start a new
though
show.
the even though the Lakers got swept, I think that'll be a fun series. I still think Denver's going to win, and I don't even know if it's going to be close. But I think that's kind of a fun one to think about. But really, almost any game in the West, I don't really care about anything in the East, to be completely honest. How about you?
I should have prepped you with it was all about the Phoenix Suns and Timberwolves. So like,
Mm,
don't talk about no crap. Los Angeles who? I forgot their name already. And do they have any lakes over there in LA anyways?
They
And
don't.
who's that dude with the bald spot who's playing yeah.
KD, honestly.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of bald spots.
Yeah.
Yo, I am gonna ask you a question that I don't even think I have an answer for. But like Vegas ain't dumb. The
Yeah.
odds aren't
Yeah.
aren't off. And
So glad you're bringing this up.
I just think like if it was easy, like they would have had it as like 80% odds, like 90% odds. Like they
Towards
look in the
who?
record towards I mean, okay, fair point. I'm not even gonna answer that. Like so it's good. It's more of a coin flip. It's more of a toss up. It's more of a um like a demonstration of like strength and philosophy. Like the trend has been shooting spread out, 5 out, right? That's been
Mhm.
become the trend, like ever since like
Yep.
the Atlanta days with Budenholzer. They had the 5 out before anyone else really did it. And then, Golden State kind of capitalized. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is they have their own philosophy. It's kind of that philosophy we zagged when everyone was trying to blend in and kind of catch up with the Golden State Warriors.
Yep.
And now their window is faded,
They're gone, yeah.
fortunately, I think. And a new breed of offense. Now there's taller dudes like the Slender Man himself from outer space is now going to be DPOY for the next dozen years and all
Oh,
this
yeah.
stuff. So we
Yep.
went big, and I think a philosophy of going big and being hard nosed defensively rather than like to space out as incredibly and like shoot from the logo all the time is like two different stances.
Mhm.
And there's gonna be moments where it looks like Beal shot like 90% against us. That's an absolute fluke. I swear
Yeah.
to God, it's absolute fluke. He might be feeling himself, you know, you know, but like I'm feeling our chances because that's not gonna be sustainable. And when the shooters like aren't making it,
Mhm.
they have to go in the post. And they have
Yep.
not done anything post wise. They have not gotten to the paint at all except for cutting and like fast break stuff all year.
Yeah.
Like our
Yeah.
team is kind of pressed. Like our preparation is about stopping any of that, and still teams do get it. But like that's what a big part of our identity is, and we are able to adjust and shift that philosophy. Like Gobert is also decent, if not good, on the perimeter. And so there are ways that we could actually even switch things up where they're not even expecting it. And
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go and say it, like we don't have to concern ourselves about what they're doing. It is almost exclusively about what we're doing. For the past 3 seasons, we've seen our own mental mistakes completely
Mhm.
crater us,
Yeah.
completely stray voltage us out of the league, out of the season, like out of our contention. And in a series against Memphis, we actually had them on the ropes.
Mhm. Oh,
And then
yeah.
let's and
We
then we decided
That
to
was
foul
ours.
out up 19, or like up 20 or something. John Morant has an end of the quarter dunk, and then we lose that game up
Yeah.
19. They had no energy in Memphis. That was been like a 3-1 series at that point. They would be
Yeah. Because
cooked.
yep, Ant gambled on that one steal
Yep.
for the John Morant winning layup. Like, that was ours. That was ours. We had it.
And a couple tweaks here and there in the Denver series. Oh, and we punched a wall, and we like went for a jam with 10 games left, um, from the
Yeah.
fucking free throw line. And my name's Nas Reed. I don't jump that high. He breaks his
Mhm.
hand, right?
Yep.
So we have two hand breaks, a punch to like Gobert's or like Slimo's like chest. We did that to ourselves.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
so we have our own hurdles, and so fuck like who we're playing up against. And I'm not trying to like sound like Kyle Tigey here, like someone who's like kind of more of a like like a positive vibes kind of guy. But like like fuck chess,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Mhm.
It's a boxing match.
Yeah. I mean, the
That's
playoffs
a joke. That's a joke.
the playoffs are a boxing match, though.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that.
Yeah. And it's gonna be interesting. I really do think a lot comes down to the first game, and how that game goes, even though I understand it's 7 games and you can adjust, like, the next game. But the thing that I'm secretly hoping for, and maybe after this, we should get into some more of, like, our very specific, like, predictions if you have them. But, I the thing that I'm secretly hoping for is I'm hoping for the fact that you said, like you said, the Suns were hot going into the end of the season. I mean, the last 10 games of their season were brutal. Highest like it was like the most difficult like schedule ending of any team in the West, I think. And they went like I think 7-3 or 8-2 or something like that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And they were shooting really well during that time. They were going crazy. The Timberwolves ended the season not well. I mean, I think we still ended it with like a 5-5 in our last 10 or 6-4. I can't remember. But our shooting obviously was not there for a lot of people. That was part of the stretch where Ant went 0 of 22 from three. So they were hot, we were cold. I'm going into this week now, hoping that our practices and like Ant is getting a lot of threes up, and Ant is like practicing his layups because he's been missing layups. And I'm also hoping that on the flip side, the Suns had all this momentum and all this good energy and like good feels and like, I don't know, body like muscle memory of shooting that is now just gone because they out now are just shooting in a gym, not in a real game. Whereas the Wolves, I'm hoping they can just get on some amount of a good track shooting wise, because if they can start shooting well and defend like they were able to defend early and often throughout the season, then I have hope. Then I have a lot more hope for this series. But series. So we come to predictions. Unless you have anything else that you wanted to add before we get there.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to talk about a couple things, but we can
Yeah.
do some predictions too, and I think this will streamline very well into like game one. Like,
Okay.
um, I want to be clear and emphasize with this like analogy. It's like we got to swim like a goldfish. Like fuck what happened on Sunday, and
Yeah. Oh yeah.
like it doesn't matter. It's 0-0. It only matters for game one right now.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, if we win, like they will be swimming. They will need to be figuring things out. They will need to do some adjustments because they can't pivot at all
Yep.
from what they were already doing.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, they could get a couple extra like plays, ATOs to get some other dude open once or twice here a game. But we can react to that and see it coming and call it out. Like I feel strongly about that. We can do all sorts of things, and I think that will be our strength, dude. Most important factors to me, like no stray voltage.
Yeah.
Minute one, at least for like solid 30 minutes, no stray voltage, no behind the back passes, no dribbling between your legs, no additional mental damage to our team.
Mm-hmm.
We got to
Yeah.
own the paint. No offensive rebounds for Phoenix allowed. If that happens, that possession needs a timeout. Aggressive use of timeouts to get that shit cleaned up.
Yeah.
And then my third, maybe not the most important factor, is we've already kind of talked about stray voltage, and that's kind of targeting one, maybe 1.5 players.
Mm-hmm.
Assisted turnovers. We had, what was that turnover number in the first quarter? Like 11?
Yeah, it was ridiculously
19 in
high.
the first half.
Yeah.
Those trends where you have that like bowl of orange.
Mm-hmm.
Look at all those games. It's just high turnovers. It's us doing it to ourselves, and we're a slow team in terms of like getting back on D, and we don't have a whole lot of transition opportunities. And when we miss shots wide, they get the rebounds. They're out in transition. When we clank it up or when we toss the ball back to them, they're sprinting because they have some sort of athletes on, at least on the guard position. And I think they get a lot of easy points in that regard too. I think we can muck it up and we can make it like really terrible for them to shoot over our fucking generationally amazing backcourt defensively.
Yes, 100%. Another notable thing about those charts, graphs, whatever I was showing earlier, is you see them tick up. I mean, obviously, it starts like immediately. It's like a 45-degree angle straight up to like 10, 15, 20 points. The rest of the game, though, is level. I mean, it's like up and down, like a normal NBA game after that point. But just the first 6 minutes of the game, it seems like that's what's determining the game. And then every time in the fourth, we come back a little bit. Like there's a little bit of a fight back in the fourth because the Suns are not great in the fourth. So if you can get yourself, and that's the other thing, when they're up by 15 or 20 early, shooting when you're up 20 or 15 or 20 early is you're shooting confident. So you don't have to worry. You can miss two,
It's true.
3 in a row, and then, you're like, "Oh, they're starting a run and we've missed 3." So now, like, you just have to calm down, make a shot, and boom, it's like over. You end the run. So, if you eliminate that first 4, 5, 6 minute chunk of losing 10 to 15 points right off the bat, off of
Exactly.
turnovers, this is immediately a game and a series. I know that sounds laughable looking at the charts after we saw them and seeing that we were down by 20 for like literally whatever, 48 minutes, 48 minutes, 48 minutes. But really, if you eliminate that, it's the same. So it'll be interesting. Did you want to go game by game?
No,
Is that where you
because
okay?
I don't know
Yeah, I
how
don't either.
if we react to game one, how game two will go. By the way, I will just say like I want to win the series at home. It would be
Yeah,
great to win it like game 6 on the road or whatever, but like I have a feeling it's going to go the distance and we win game 7. That's my prediction, by the way,
that'd be
is that we
crazy.
win this in 7. And I think this is going to sound like I'm preaching or lecturing or something, but like to you in 32, it's time. It's Carl Anthony Towns' time,
Yeah.
and that is a positive and a negative. You can look at it in two very orange way light, honestly. Um, but it's time. Like year 9, he's 28, 29. He's entering his prime. He's had no success. He's won a 3-point competition and scored 50 points in an All Star game. I guess he was a Rising Star MVP as well. Remember, a few years ago, they wanted to start a franchise with Carly Towns, and he's been usurped. He's been like lapped by his
No.
others. Like Embiid's been MVP, Jokic has been MVPs, and he's the MVP of the league. And Cat has not kept up. Oh, this is his time to remake his name because he's been a laughing stock, a beanstalk of sorts, and he's like lost weight to compete and be healthier. But he's also a big man who has big man tendencies, and he's asked to guard smaller players. He's asked to do a lot of little things too, and he's looked okay. But I don't know if somehow I feel like legends are bored in the playoffs. Someone says that in like some sort of TNT ad, and like he's not a legend. He's not in anything. He's just a kind of a star right now. He's just like
Yeah.
feeling himself. So I think
Mhm.
in a weird way, like my last kind of important factor before I get why we're going to win is I think this is Cat's time as in a way that's like it's Cat's series. If we don't have a Cat in any of these games in one of 3 games, like we're done.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think this is a unique opportunity for him to thrive. I think it is.
I think so too.
I think other series that we've had have not been perfect. I think the Memphis one was tricky because it was a very highly emotional series, and that's not good
Yeah.
for him or Jaren Jackson Jr. Like both of them are kind of like getting way too emotionally charged and like stray voltage, all that kind of stuff. It's just not the series for that kind of a player on either end. Um, and then Denver. I mean, Denver is just he actually did play okay in the Denver series. He had some good games, but nothing that was like super. This took us someplace. Um, you are right. This is the call to Carl Anthony Towns. This is the series for him to prove that he is the player that he says he is, and we know can be. Um, if he can start shooting well, if he can start, I mean, the driving might be tricky with the injury. If he can defend
Good.
without fouling,
Yo,
yeah,
Cameron, that's good.
yeah,
You know, you
exactly.
you can you can play 94 feet. How about he just plays like
How about you
from
just
the
play in the corners?
just play in the corner.
Yeah, yeah,
Play like 40 feet. Like
yeah,
um
exactly.
that is actually a weird fucking thing for me. I'm actually excited to see what he's able to corral and like stop.
Yeah,
Because the penetration crap, we saw that in that last Phoenix game. He tried to like get some offensive rebounds. He's out of the play, transition, boom. We saw a couple like try to like bang down low, get an offensive rebound. No, it's an offensive foul, right?
yeah, yep,
Um, like take advantage of matchups, sure. Like if Grayson's Allen is on you, you don't just sit on the perimeter. You should actually try to get
yeah,
post position, take advantage of that. But when like
yep,
KD's on you, like KD's one of their best defenders, pull him out to the 3-point line and sit in the corner. Hey, I'm fucking happy about that.
yeah, yep, exactly.
He needs to
He
defer. He
needs
needs to realize, sorry, that his best asset and his attribute is just being a fucking weapon, and
yeah.
the gravity that he presents, not like Steph, but like just being out there is crucial for our success. And yeah, he can make open shots even when Katie's completely guarding his guarding him. Like he can make a shot over Katie easy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's he definitely can. I think the tricky part will be the reverse of guarding KD, but there's almost I mean, it's tricky to guard KD with anybody. Ant's been on him a lot. That's I mean, that's
Yeah,
crazy. KD or Cat certainly could. He's got the length to do it. I do think that since he's been back from injury, defensively, he's been a little slow. Not that he's ever been like the fastest defensive player, but like I think
right.
it's extra slow right now. Um,
That's true.
but yeah, comes down
That's very
to
true.
if he can make threes, it's going to be huge. I mean, that's just half court offense is important in the playoffs. Half court defense is important in the playoffs. But shot making is always going to be there, and if you can have shot makers, especially threes in the playoffs, I mean, think of how many playoff series where you've watched somebody just like hit like tonight. I mean, who was it? It was Batum. Batum was going off for three, and it's like,
Fucking
okay, if you can
amazing.
have a
I
Batum
love him.
player go off for 5 threes or whatever,
Love him. Yeah.
um, you're immediately in the game, if not winning the game. So if you can have Towns do that, you have Nah, who's kind of a wild card and can do that for you. Conley can do that for you. Um, yeah, we have players that we can do that, but without Towns and the consistency that he can give us, um, then it's a tricky series for us. So yeah, well, it'll be it'll be interesting to see how Cat does, but I agree with you. I'm glad you brought that up because I do think that's important. And honestly, possibly, depending on how this series goes, there could be a lot of conversations, which maybe we'll get to here in a later
And that's
stream
probably a
or
positive
something
thing,
like
as
that.
weird as
But
that sounds. Like change is okay. I tend to like not approach change as great, but like in these kind of environments, you kind of impact or like it's bust. Like what did you just
yeah,
show your fans? Like what you built something for nothing, so you got to make adequate changes if it like we didn't get past this round. I predict the Wolves in 7. I'm potentially delusional. Mason, I'm potentially, probably, absolutely criminally delusional. But my X factor, as weird as this fucking sounds, is the bird himself, Mr. Finch.
yeah,
I think we're gonna see some adjustments. We're gonna see some changes, philosophies that are like tweaked. I don't know about this flow crap. I've never really understood it, especially with our team as dense as it is. But
yeah,
I swear, like um, we're gonna be able to do some interesting stuff, and they can't do anything outside of what they are able to do. You know what? There's some weird. I will shut up after the second, but like at this point. The Houston Rockets series a few years ago. Capella and Harden, game one, were monsters.
mhm,
And we just kept running that action as defensively. We forced it. But that was the only thing they were gonna be able to do. But that was Harden in his prime, right? That was Harden like MVP like Harden. And Capella was the greatest version of himself then too.
yeah,
And Towns had a series, had it and not didn't have the best series. Like he had issues, but he was like
yeah,
presented with like, oh, here's the challenge, and it was really cool and stubborn, and also cool to see like kind of Tibbs like just really like this is all we want, and of course they have the spacers to kind of dominate us when we let go of
yeah,
the rope. This series, do you just let KD pop off? Do you let KD be guarded by I know that Ant is or Ant and Jaden are amazing against KD in terms of defensively, but he's still going to get his
yeah.
regardless of
He
who's
can,
on
yeah,
him.
mhm,
If we have KD on Cat or Cat on KD, like if we have him on like Grayson Allen, Allen's just going to run around, sprint around, and like tire like size 20 Cat, right? Um,
yeah,
if we just have him on KD, like we could just accept what KD will and will not do, and he is old in terms of the fact that like can he put this on every game? Like we can probably trust that he will until he can't. But like I don't know, I feel like there's some weird fun things that we can do that they can't really respond a whole lot with.
yeah,
They are
yep,
6 deep, maybe 7.
yeah. Well,
Wolves and 7. Sorry.
I I I kind of cheated with my answer, but I will give you a real answer. at the end. I have two-part answer. One is heart, one is mind. In my heart, and I think Zach was saying it very well earlier. I think I saved this comment. I know it hasn't been the same. Um, Zach was like, "We have to punch first," and that is, that's the thing that I guess my heart believes in. I think that after this week off, getting rested, game planning, um, the Timberwolves have done some fantastic things this year. They have wildly, I mean, me and Ashwin, we called this season pretty well in our preview of the season. We said somewhere in the realm of 50 to 55 wins. We're right in there. We said top 4. We're right in there. Um, but even still, I mean, this team has surprised me in good ways many times this season. I mean, we've had some incredible moments from Ant this season. We had another Towns injury and persevered through to keep ourselves basically in the running and for first until the very last game of the season. Um, we've been able to persevere a lot of things. And even in moments where I didn't believe it was possible to happen. As a Timberwolves fan, we've seen a lot of losses and like, oh, this feels like it could be the time. No, it's not. If we win this first game, and I think that we can, in my heart, I think we can. Um, I can see the Timberwolves winning 4-2 in a 6-game series. I can see it happening. Um, because I think if they have that momentum on their side in the first game, they will continue that. I think the Suns are good enough to steal some games here or there, whether it's just all the home games or whatever that may be. But I do think that's my heart now, my brain, my mind. Um, I based off of what we've seen this year, how can my brain possibly tell me that we're going to win this series? So in my brain, I I am not seeing much victory. I am seeing at best because every time we've played the Suns this year, I've been like, wow, we're terrible against the Suns. We're gonna lose. And then we do. Not just by a little, by a ton. um, so my brain is telling me that best case scenario is that it's a gentleman sweep or whatever it's called, and the Suns win 4-1. And I don't think we'd win the first game. My brain tells me that. Um, and I think to give you a real answer, and
You
I
got your
guess to
heart
be a
and your brain, and then your actual answer.
and now I'm going to put it together into what my real full answer will be. Everybody drum roll please. I think my mind is right. I
Oh,
think the Suns will figure it out and beat us 4-1, if not 4-0. I think
but
it's
figure it out. You mean like what? What challenge we
well,
present? They will be able to make adjustments, and any adjustments that we make, they already have the answers to. Is that what you're saying?
figure it out was a bad way of saying it. I think they're going to shoot lights out again and again and again and again. And we're just
Yeah.
not going to have an answer, even though we have a good defense. Because if they have shooters that are just shooting like that, like they have been over the last 10 games or whatever, and especially the 3 games against us, we have no chance. I've seen how many times do we see like, oh, there's going to be there's a 3-point specialist on the team that we're going up against.
Mhm.
Watch them go off every time. It used to be the random dude that we'd never heard their name. Now it's like the Grayson Allens. They have Royce O'Neal. They have players where we're maybe not going to have as much knowledge, which is the hope. That's my heart telling me, this week, maybe we figure it all out and we come into like Ant is really getting into film and Jaden's getting into film and they're all totally understanding players' tendencies and like, oh, you need to be on this guy because he's just like lingering at the 3-point line and ready for a wide open shot. Um, Maybe Ant will break that shell coverage that they've been having and have some 3-point shooters like Cat out there that are willing and able to shoot threes. Um, but the reason that my mind wins out this battle is because you kind of have to change a lot. In my head, I think you have to all of these could happen things aren't like 50-50. They're like very uphill battles and things that the Suns are also going to be game planning for this week. So I don't know.
Oh, you do
However,
know. You just said it with your head.
Well, I did say it with my head. I'm saying it sucks that that is where my brain ended up and everything ended up. Um, but I hope I'm wrong. I certainly
Yeah, I
hope
mean,
I'm wrong.
I think you're going to be wrong, and I think it's okay. You're going to have to spoon the spoon at Walker Art Center. That's what's going to have to happen. Um, why I'm so convinced that it will be in our favor is the game changes in the playoffs.
It does.
Um, yeah, shooters are shooting, and shooters are going to make whatever they make. But like, um, what have we done all season? We've found our brand and our identity, and we built some
Mhm.
habits in certain regards. And yeah, we're going to miscue on certain defensive assignments sometimes. The regular season's crazy. There's so many like variables. Back to back. Are you injured? Did you just have a baby? Like did you
There were, yeah, yeah.
eat too many, Cheetos fries or whatever that crap is. I'm just like making some shit up. Cat goes down,
Mhm.
yeah, it's sick. Jaden fouls out the previous game. Like all these variables like impact the next game. We rebound so well in terms of like bounce back from a poor performance. We take it personally. We take it seriously, and like we galvanize over the fact that we lose one or two in a row. Like we've never lost three in a row. Like it has actually built into our DNA that we are just so impactfully like wanting change and wanting to build habits in the right way. I feel like the philosophy of defense first was awesome. Hey, we're the number one defensive rating, and it's also not just because of Gobert. All of our defensive perimeter players, that's what like
Yeah.
a mainstay of what they are
Mhm.
absolutely are about. So you're saying shooters going to make their shots. I'm not trying to like criticize you. I'm just
Nope.
saying generally everyone who's picking the Suns too, like against any team, they're just going to make whatever shots because we have the best perimeter like defense outside of like OG Ananobi and a couple other players. You know what I mean? Like we have the best defenders like outside of Herb Jones and a couple other players. They're just going to make their
I
shots. That's what you say.
that is what I'm saying. I think that they will. I think it's partially this is like a BS thing, and honestly, like, I'm gonna call it hashtag analytics. We're breaking
Oh, yeah,
out the
totally.
hashtag.
That's fine.
It's not analytics.
Oh,
They have confidence against us. They just
oh
have a
yeah,
ton of
absolutely.
confidence
It's a
against
huge
us,
thing.
and that's gonna help them with a lot of tough, difficult, even contested shots in the beginning of the series. So it's going to take a Herculean effort out of us to really prove and be physical and be allowed to be physical. Because I think that's
Mm,
something that's also been talked about is like, like the playoffs do change. And Ant's even talking like in his presser today, where
yep.
he was sick, by the way. He's talking about how he's like, yeah, I'm not even going to be worried about, I'm not even going to be looking for fouls in the playoffs because it's going to be so like, it's going to be an aggressive game. One, I don't believe him, but two, I like I don't think that it's that much more like we always like to say, yeah, in the playoffs, like that you're not going to get that call in the playoffs. Certainly that does
You do.
happen for certain
Cat
players,
does.
but Cat is going to get those fouls on him. Ant is going to get hacked on his way to the rim. He's not going to get calls. Um, and I just don't see them both suddenly flipping the switch and being like, I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to let it get to me. um, sure, maybe there's like a little let up there where there is like a little bit more like contact that they're allowed to do defensively because that's more of what I'm focused on. If they are able to have a little bit more physicality on defense, then man, I do think that this series could flip drastically and surprise Vegas, surprise everybody. But I don't believe that it will. I think that the series will be pretty officiated similarly, maybe 10% less like strictness than like a regular season game, but I think I think it will be pretty close, and we're gonna run into some of the same issues of like we're fouling a lot, both offensively and defensively.
Mhm. I don't remember. This was the Memphis series. I forgot if it was game five. Game five, game six, probably game six where we lost. Um, uh, ATO, like 10 seconds left, I think, I believe. And J-Mac comes in. I think D'Lo at this point has been like completely subbed out of the game and Cat fouls out and shit. J-Mac comes in and does a bounce pass to Ant, and Ant hits a corner three.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, they knew that Ant was the say like Super Saiyan, right? Of our series
Mhm.
of our team, and he was going nuclear in that series.
Yep.
But they still couldn't stop that. Like, okay, it's been so obvious that when Ant has the ball, he's going to kind of ISO a little bit, and he's going to be drawing the gravity. He's going to draw the what is that thing? The like the what do you call it? The defensive
Uh,
scheme that they have it. What was it
yeah.
called?
Oh, the shell coverage.
Shell coverage. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's an obvious like kind of attack, a point of attack. That's an easy way for him to generate offense for himself. But like we also have Conley, we also have Baby
Yeah.
Mac. We also have other people that could handle the duties of point guard and or playmaking and or get Ant running for get a screen, get an open shot. Uh,
Mhm.
yes, please. We can have that
Yeah.
happen. We can have Ant in the corner shooting threes sometimes too. And it doesn't always have to be about what we showed in that Phoenix game, where it was a
Mhm.
lot of Ant ISO. It was a lot of Ant dribbling into traffic, trying to kick him out. And he fumbled early. He fumbled often, and that probably got into his head. When I remember saying this in a weird way, not to be controversial or like critical here, but like we got to play like goldfish or swim like it like the previous possession doesn't matter if we do cough it up. And in our DNA, it's like we're so not infantile, but we're kind of immature in that regard. Like Ant,
Yeah.
Cat, a couple other people take it personally. Slow-mo takes it personally when he misses his shot or when he coughs it up and
Mhm.
stuff like that. You got to make sure that you're like Gobert or like Conley, and you're like next play, please. And we, in a weird way, we have to do it for Gobert. We have to do it for Conley. This is their last like hurrah.
Yeah. Yeah. Conley's close. Gobert. I mean, he's younger, but he's a big, so that changes the trajectory, especially the kind of way that he plays. It's not something where you can avoid contact very often. Like how when he got his injured rib, we were like, okay, this is bad because he is like in the post all the time.
Cameron, we talked
um,
for 15 minutes and we've barely talked about Ant. I think there's so many X factors or wild cards or like opportunities for some new meta. Like
Comes down to
Ant's,
him too.
it also comes down to him, and he's not going to average 25. I don't think he will be settling for 25 points. He will not be like that's acceptable. Um,
I agree. I agree. I think that's the other thing that's tricky to me is that it's like I have no idea what to expect from Ant coming into this series other than my old brain of last year and the year before playoffs where I'm like, yeah, Ant's gonna not let us. You're right. He's not gonna settle for 25. He's going to, even though he's claiming, Cat's our best player, yada yada yada. He is he is more demanding of the ball. He is more confident in shooting during the playoffs, and even when he's not shooting well, he finds a way to get it done. Um, so, of course, now it's different than the first because the first series against Memphis, he was not getting doubled as much. Last year he was getting doubled a little bit, but he was able to kind of figure it out and get plenty of 30-point games and big games. Not just like getting 30 points, like having actual good games and both sides of the ball too. I mean, he has plenty of plays where like there's so many highlights. I wish we could watch them together on stream.
yeah,
But like the highlights of him, like, maybe the Wolves turn it over and Ant hustles back and it's like a 2-on-1 and he gets the block like several times.
yeah, man.
Um, him just driving, getting foul calls. It's a different game. And you when you think of players like LeBron or you think of players like I don't know. I'm using LeBron as like the best example right now, but like he can kind of, or Jimmy, Jimmy tonight, like they find these ways to win in important games, like where they're just like, you know what, we're winning today, and I don't know, I don't care if that means that I'm like searching for contact. I don't care if that means that instead of shooting a bunch of threes, I have to drive a bunch. It's just whatever it takes to win. And that's what we've seen out of Ant a lot in the playoffs. It's just that he's had not the greatest stretch to end the season, which scares me. But as he
You're right.
says, if he gets that first three in the game to go, watch out because then he can do everything in his arsenal with ease.
Hey, you say Phoenix like ended the season strong, and you can't like doubt that, especially with their record. They needed to kind of play out of the play-in. We
Yeah.
both
Yep.
the last 15 games have the exact same record. We're 10-5. They were 10-5 with their last 15.
Yeah.
So we stayed the course. We've been as great as we've been. And yeah, where there's flaws, there's kinks in our armor. There's record label, levels of stray at times in our games. And we lose to the Chicago Bulls and Atlanta Hawks, and that stuff happens to every team. And I feel like we persevered and endured, and they've dealt with their own drama and stress. Um, but I love what you just said there about like Antis had kind of like a weak end to the season. Post All Star game, he's been kind of a different like level. But like I feel like, oh, maybe I'm wrong, but he like shines bright when the lights are brightest. Like in
He
LA,
100% does.
he cooked them, right? Like
Mhm.
I don't know. Like I feel like, and there's moments where he finds his rhythm. He's on. He's like Super Saiyan, and like the Memphis series, and like the Denver. You were seeing a star emerge, and then now you're seeing the star. Like what can
Yep.
he now? He can build off of that, and like
Yeah.
every player has to ramp up their effort to 11. So what does an
Mhm.
ant look like at 11 effort? Like it's gonna be amazing. And I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm just super pumped, super excited. And yeah, we might lose in 5. That will suck. But like Ant will see yet another like series that he was like able to work through. And now like
Yeah.
now the writing's on the wall. Like now it's like it's Cat's time, but like after Cat, it's an Ant window.
Mhm.
And he's
Yeah.
shining before his window, honestly. So
Yeah, he is. He's 22, which is just insane to say. He will be 22 for I mean, I think his birthday. When is his birthday? Is it August? I don't remember.
August 5th.
Um, okay. Oh yeah, August 5th, 5. But yeah, the only thing that I'll say in regards to what you were talking about when he shines bright when the lights come on, kind of a deal. There were multiple times this season where we maybe didn't play like the best of opponents, but like when we had like a big day and like there was like a lot of promises the day before, he didn't necessarily. Um, but like there was like that Timberwolves media day or whatever that they did on ESPN or something
Yeah.
like that, and then the next day it was like not a great game. But I do think in general when real important games happen, not just like media hype or whatever, like when an actually important game comes onto the schedule or is a playoff game, he's there. And that's what I'm looking forward to. That's what I'm hoping for going into the playoffs. But we will see. All right.
Cool.
I see your link in chat. Do you want to explain it or do you want me to explain it? Well, I guess you should probably explain it.
Yeah, I mean, briefly, we did something really fun on the last game where we had kind of like a 90-second window live tier list kind of like ramp where we got to vote for our players, and with you, voted for the players of the game and how that game went down. And that's like what we typically done is like assess the game by game, right? Like based off of a barometer of like what their averages are, and C is men, whatever, right? And we have A1 to bottoms to Glenn Taylor, right? This tier list is slightly different, where you guys have a window of an hour, but we're not going to even get to an hour. We're going to like just do it for as long as we can, and because I should have started this earlier or whatever. And it's about the whole season.
Okay.
It's about the like what? How did each player feel like we did? How we feel like how they did, and we might go through them kind of not in like a rapid fire sense, but like right? Um, so here's a tier list, and so far I don't see any people join, but that's okay. We're gonna do this on our own anyways. And I'm gonna share my screen.
Okay.
Never mind, I see 20 people. That's amazing. Go ahead and
Oh,
join. Go ahead and join. You might have to refresh it a couple times, and basically it's going to be on no timer other than an hour to get all of your votes in for every player.
mhm.
You guys might be able to see every single vote cast from every single one of you. I'm choosing to not see it, abstain from that until I do my own grades. And my grades, sorry, are kind of like with Cameron. So like the Wolves after the Waddy grade. But like after that, we'll see like where our votes slid in with yours. Dude, there's 30 people. Let's go.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
And if you guys are here on Twitch or if you guys are here on Twitter or YouTube, like don't forget to share like Cameron. We're at 100 people. This is amazing. This is so exciting.
This
We
is
even got someone in Twitch that wasn't us
we do.
chatting.
Yes.
Jaden McDaniels fan, myself, my friend. I love you. Welcome, my friend, to the show. We're live on YouTube and we're also on all these other platforms, but primarily we're kind of engaging with the YouTube audience. But it's cool that you're here too. This is for the
Yeah.
season. This is for your
This is-
just general vibes grade for the season.
Yes. Final thing. I think one thing I wanted to do, but I didn't have the time to prepare, was to go through every single stream and take down
Oh, yeah.
exactly what we graded. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to do that, feel free. But yeah, no, go through and see what our averages were for the season. But this is not what we're thinking our averages are. This is 100% just based off of what we felt coming into the season and now what we feel now. where do we feel like that player ended up? Obviously, we've added some tiers since the beginning of the season, but yes. Also, I did want to just quickly interject again. If we get to 100 likes, I know that's a very difficult ask on a non-game night, but if we get to 100 likes on the stream, we're going to give away tickets to Game Two for that. So that'll be awesome. So make sure you like the stream, subscribe to the stream. We're almost at 1,300 subscribers as well, which would be
Crazy.
amazing. We
That's
started
amazing.
the season at like 250.
Yeah.
So to have over 1,000 of you join us, that's awesome. Seriously, that's insane growth for 1 year. Also, I am going to interject here in like very awkwardly in 2 minutes, because in 2 minutes we will be giving away playoff tickets to Game One. And as I mentioned, I do want to make sure that everybody understands this, just in case anybody tries to join really late. This is for long-term people in Discord only. If you join within the last 24 to 48 hours, it's not going to count. Carson, you're different. You messaged me. That's okay. But if you have joined in the last 24 to 48 hours, you will not be a part of the 2 Game One tickets that are going in 2 minutes or less than 2 minutes. We will be re-rolling. It'll be awkward. I did this kind of weirdly, but I want to make sure that those people that have been here supporting us the longest get the better chance at tickets than somebody that maybe just found us today. We will be doing more giveaways, and we're going to be doing more giveaways at the end of stream here. We're going to be giving away a jersey, so make sure you stay here. But we will be giving away something here. Actually, maybe it's happening like right now. It's supposed to be at 8:08. Well, we're West Coast, so it should be happening any moment. I don't know why for me it says 2 minutes, so we'll see what happens. But I can't. It just happened. Oh my gosh. Let me see here. This is somebody that joined recently, but this is actually a long-term supporter. So the winner is Carson. Although there's a Carson in the stream. I don't know if that's the same Carson.
Carson Britsky.
Yes, I don't know if that's the same. Yes, that's Carson. There you are.
Yo,
you are in
you,
stream. Man. That's perfect.
Congrats,
Carson's been here a long time. Congrats. Seriously. I'll be messaging you, getting your email and stuff like that. However, we're going to be doing more giveaways. We've got tickets to Game 2. So everybody make sure you're in the Discord. I think the link is in the bio. Oh, no, I didn't put it there today. Or actually, it should be. So yes, Carson, that's awesome. I'll be messaging you, getting your email, all that stuff. And I'm going to give you those tickets on Friday. So that's awesome. Awesome to give away some tickets. We're going to be giving away more tickets, as I said. I just want to make sure everybody understands. But that's fun. That's good. Good. I didn't have to re-roll. I was very nervous that I was going to have to re-roll. However, it's hilarious that it is somebody that just joined.
Yeah.
Kind of. But
that's amazing.
Sweet. Okay, now we can get into the tier list. Now, how are we doing this for ourselves here?
And just for those who have there's already been 200 votes cast, my friend Cameron. This is so sweet. I did not expect that. Hey,
that's crazy.
So this little window right here, I would click it for this player. Ant, I guess, is the one we're starting with, which is crazy. And we would start this is the color grading based off of this grading, right? I'm sure all of you guys have already figured this out by now, but that's how we would do it. I can't physically move him, right? I can't physically move him. I have to put a grade in, and it's our grade. Or you could go on yourself and do your own individual grade, and then compare yours with mine. But since ours is kind of streamed here, and we're going to kind of go through them potentially fast, just because of time and effort. And we've already discussed these guys at length throughout the season. And this is kind of just a recap, if not favorite, generalities of these players, right? So, so is that okay with you? I'm just controlling this, and I'll click these colors, and then that's what we'll do.
That'll be our grade together or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
And once again, congrats, Carson. Congrats to all of you guys. It's all of you guys pouring in your support, both monetarily, but also with your support this through the Discord, Discord community as well. It's just going right back to you. It's you're feeling yourself. It's awesome. And we're just like a liaison. We're just helping build community and foster this type of positive energy, even though we might get gentlemen swept. It's okay.
We're celebrities. I don't know what you're talking about. We're not liaisons. We're celebrities. I'm signing autographs and babies when we get home.
Oh my gosh. Multiple
Just kidding.
babies.
Multiple babies. Okay, last question for you. I know we're kind of doing this live. So when you click it, it's gonna put that person in that tier.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Because it's only my list. Like I'm not gonna I'm gonna close my eyes here.
Mhm.
That's everyone's grade.
Okay, okay.
Okay. And I can also do it by average rating too. And then we can
I
see like
see what you're saying. I get it
yeah.
now.
So I
You've taught
see
me
it
a
a
lot.
little bit. I see it a little bit like down here or down low. I'm trying
Mhm.
not to influence it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah. Ant for the season. Cameron, go.
And for the season, actually, do you want me to? This is. I know we're doing this all on the fly. Do you want me to have like stats pulled up for their season averages and stuff like that?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. I'll do this, and then I want you to run this. I want you to run this, okay? Ant for the season, 25 points. This is hard to read. Whoa, 25 points a game, 26 points a game, 5.1 assists, 5.4 rebounds, a block, a steal. It doesn't matter. Um, he played
You
most
promised
every
to,
game. You know, I'm going to kind of just do this generally. He's 26, 5-5.
dude.
Entertaining, entertaining.
Yes, it is entertaining. I'm sorry. I know we haven't interacted too much with
Brown
the comments.
Sharma.
Brown Sharma, I remember you from Twitch.
Remember you, the Brandon Rush team.
Welcome back.
Brad.
Welcome back. Oh yeah, June, I put it let me yeah, I'll try to highlight the link again because I think that's important. So let me go back in here real quick and hopefully the volume's on. There we go.
Holy fuck, we had Brandon Rush on our team once.
We did. That's insane. Okay. Sorry,
Yo.
I'm trying to find this.
Join us on YouTube,
This,
Brown Sharma.
yes, please. Okay, I'm pinning the link.
Join our
So it'll be
Discord, my
pinned.
friend.
Yeah, join the Discord for real. This is why I was happy to start streaming on Twitch again. I was like, we might be get some oldies. We got to get Trash Panda back. We got to get well, JJ's like number one. JJ's been here since day one, and
Mark
Gerald,
said that didn't
big
work.
boy. That didn't work. What didn't work? I pinned a link. Let me refresh here. Make sure it's up there. The link pinned should take you there. Yeah, that's the one that I used. So I just pinned whatever link you shared. So that should work. And it looks like we have 50 participants.
50 people.
Insane.
Cameron.
Yeah.
Look how far we swam.
This is nuts.
Fuck chess,
we didn't think
chess Cameron. Fuck chess.
I don't think I understand this inside joke.
Oh, come on.
Is it from the stream that we were invading the other day?
Shout out Coop Carson.
Shout out Coop.
Shout out Timberwolves Daily. He was going to join us, and then I don't know.
TD, yeah, TD. We'll probably get TD on for one of these shows here soon. Anyways, you've asked me what is my grade for Anthony Edwards
26,
5 on the season. 26, 5-5, really 25.9 because it was very important Vegas wise. He was at 29. He was at 26 points for the over under on Vegas, and he was 25.9. I think I mean, this was an incredible year from Ant. I don't know how deep you want me to go into like talking about each player. If you want me to do this rapid fire,
I want you
but
to do you.
I'm going to do me. This was a fantastic year for Ant. I think there's a little bit left to be desired still. So this is certainly not some like insanely perfect year. However, we've had top moments of his career happen this season. I mean, the Boston game early was incredible. We've got obviously the poster dunk of the year, at least, if not the decade. I mean, an incredible dunk. I know it was a thrunk. We have one of the best defensive plays in Timberwolves history, maybe like in the block in Indiana. Insane. Also, leading up to the block, he took over the fourth quarter. I yelled in my apartment during that game. I mean, we had like serious fun games this year. Sure, I had high expectations coming into the season, so like I definitely am not going like A1 because like he didn't like win MVP. I don't know how else to like say this because like during the regular season, A1 is an unforgettably good game. I'm never going to forget any Anthony Edwards season. So my final grade for Ant is an A.
An A.
Yes. I think there's a little bit left to be desired. But I also think that it was better than last season, which is maybe to be expected. But to be honest, coming into the tier list, I kind of thought we were going to do this beforehand. I was between A and B, but since we
Oh,
won a lot of games, I went up to A.
I agree with you. Let's move on. Carl Anthony Towns. We're just hitting bangers. Um, instead of like Leonard Miller, we go to Cat immediately. Cat in 62 games, 21.8 points. Damn, this is hard to read. 8.3 rebounds, 3 assists. Um, team leader in fouls, and second to Ant in turnovers. Um, your grade for Cat. I should have said that also for Ant, but I just was like, hey, let's bring it up.
I'm going to be quicker with this one. I do think that Cat had a better season than I anticipated coming in. He started the season and I think still is one of the top, like, if you're looking at advanced metrics, like defenders on the season, which I think is more of a product of Gobert coming in, changing the entire team, and everybody's numbers are up. I mean, Mike Conley's up there too. There's like weird stuff happening there. I think that this was better than expected. The injury certainly hurts a little bit too because he could have had like a really, really good year if he wasn't
Could have.
injured. I don't know.
Yep.
But I think a B is fair for the season. I think this was a decent season for him. Defensively, he was great early, working well with Gobert. He was the only one that really, other than I guess Mike, who has kind of lost it now, figured out how to lob it to Gobert. So I think their two-man game worked. Also, just like looking at like the human side of it, to have somebody like Gobert come into the team who's like a big, and you're known as the big on the team, and kind of like, to have the rapport at the end of the season where Rudy can joke about this is what movies are made of. I think that's like not showing growth because not that he's had a problem with that, but like I think that was like really genuine, and I think they have a good relationship. But that's less of the tier list. That's just more an observation. I think a B for the season.
I'm gonna do a head heart thing, like you did. I think my heart wants to, give him some benefit of the doubt and like give him a B. I think
Yeah,
my head. I think he cut down a lot of the nonsense, but he also
he did.
debuted that or recoiled into those instinctual behaviors that I see him so often try to fix, but not. And then he does an overcorrection where now he's like doing this right hand hook. Whenever he drives right, he grabs the hook thing, and it's like 2 or 3 offensive fouls a game.
Mhm.
Needs to nip all that crap out of the butt. He is not the Jokic. He is not the um um Embiid. He's not, like he's at Porzingis' tier, maybe. Like it's kind of sad how what happened. But through all of that, he's persevered. He's asked to do a lot on the four as the four. The big man lineup is working, has worked, shown its head. You can't refute it. It is evidence that, like, with our record, statistically defying, trends. And Cat is a big part of it. But I
Yeah.
feel like it's a meh
Oh,
because I feel
okay.
like Cat needed to do more. I feel like it was heavy-handed on Ant this entire season. Cat had
Mhm.
to do more with less. There were several games, dozens of games. Like we could go through his game by game breakdown where he shot like 4 threes. He shot 8 times. He got in the foul
Uh-oh.
trouble. Or, uh-oh,
You're convincing me.
I,
Uh-oh.
I'm good at that. I think it's a mess season, and I don't think he exceeded any expectations other than he kind of curbed some of the tendencies that we've seen from him, but he built new bad habits. He decided to, I know he played God early in the tenure with Gobert, where he was passing a lot to Gobert, and that's a strength when he can pass to Gobert. But I want him to be as aggressive as possible. I didn't see that. I didn't see that growth from him, where to be selfish becomes selflessness in regards because the gravity works in his favor. I'm going to just say that I think this is his make or break season. The series is his season, and like I I think I'm done talking about him. Like potentially forever. Like I swear, because like there's been so much negativity from me about him, but I want him to succeed because like I'm rooting for my team. I'm rooting for the players who play for the team, and he's a great fucking dude.
Yeah, yeah.
He's been
Mhm.
such a weird negative and it's not neutral player for me on the court because he tends to do things that I don't see from any other player in the league negatively.
Yeah, it is. He is an enigma. He's interesting. You've definitely convinced me lower. I think I'm still kind of close to B because I do think early in the season he really was. Um, he was a good part of our team defensively, and he was a scoring threat. The thing that we the thing that we did have all season in every post game. What did we say every single post game about Cat? Why did you only take three threes today?
Well,
Why did you only
no,
take four threes today?
exactly.
It's like that is ridiculously frustrating from the best shooting big of all time. So like that, I think you've maybe convinced me to go down to meh.
Even if Curry was like, "Oh, I'm a 40-year-old, vet here coming off the bench," he would shoot 10 threes a game. Like Clay went down swinging. He shot like 9 threes. He was bricking everything. He didn't change his game. He was so ass, but actually I commend him for being as ass as he was, for at least trying to continue doing what he does, as opposed to,
Mhm.
"Oh, I don't have it. I'm not even going to try to find myself open." And okay, I'm done. Meh. Giant meh. Gobert, conversely,
Mhm.
uh, was basically my heart this season. I couldn't believe what I saw from him season like game to game. Even when like
I
the
know.
the, the game was like against him, he would find his way. Like there weren't a whole lot of dud games from Gobert. There were some moments and we saw them and we articulately graded him. So there's maybe a week where he was just an absolute zero. But like Rudy Gobert played 76 fucking games, by the way. He was as healthy as he's ever been. 14 points, which as like a fourth option, 14
Yeah.
points,
Yeah.
12.9 rebounds, 2.1 blocks. What are we else do we talk about? Oh, an assist. It doesn't matter. Um,
Yeah.
the only thing is that he has fucking pickleball hands, pickleball paddles for hands. So when we pass him the ball, it's like the others, not Rudy Gobert's fault. Like I guess
Mhm.
it is in a weird way Rudy Gobert's fault that he has shit hands and shit handles. But we should know better. We should pass better to him, and we shouldn't force it to him. And that's actually an awesome utility where we don't have to force anything out of for him. He can just be
Mhm.
a run up and down guy. It's okay. And we still kill with him on the other end. So um, I want to give you the chance to give a grade, and I will actually. I'm already giving him an A. To you in terms of like maybe even cash. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know it's kind of weird because cash we usually have kind of reserved for like good shooting performances or whatever. But yeah, I think it's probably I mean, the thing that I'm struggling with now is that like Edwards being an A, I feel like Rudy has to be higher. I feel like he has to be because Rudy
Touche.
played so well. He played so well this year for us. We were a little worried coming into the season. Not that last season wasn't like okay, but like um he dominated. He just dominated this season. For so many games. Like you said, he played so many games, but like can we think back to how many like there's been like literally 2 or 3 games this season where he wasn't like his normal 14 and 14. Like seriously, with like 2 or 3 blocks. So there was like one really bad game where he had like 6 points and 4 rebounds or something weird like that, and then every other game has been like not perfect, but really, really good. So maybe this is kind of breaking the mold, but like Cash doesn't make sense because he wasn't Cash from three ever. He didn't take a three also, which is very disappointing, and I'm
You're right.
very hurt by that. But
Actually, you're right.
I can't give him the same grade as Ant. I just can't. So I think
I
I
think
go
so.
Cash.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else. I think you convinced me to go a little bit higher. I
Oh,
think he's
A1?
DPOI. I think he's DPOI.
He
I think
is,
this might
yeah.
be one of his like swan song years of being right. 8 DPOI. Wemby's coming. Everyone else is coming for him,
Yeah.
and like he's proven this fucking nonsense wrong. Like he said, "Hey, too big," or everyone says too bigs can't work. Rudy Gobert's washed.
Yeah.
Demarcus Cousins came out like recently being like, shitting on
Yeah.
Gobert. Gobert has flaws and he's flourished and we've like built an identity around him. Would you have said like actual money on the line saying, hey, we would be number one defensively? I don't think I would have put anything.
No.
I would have like I'm taking cash from you. I think he's A1. I don't know. I feel like as you said something, it kind of clicked. Like he can't be on the same level as Ant.
Yep.
He didn't take a three, of course, but
Yep.
like Cash is
Which
reserved for
is
this like sharpshooting. And
yeah.
I feel like A1 fits this identity of this team so well. A1 is like I've never seen this identity from a team, and the identity is flowing through Gobert.
Yeah. I think we can go A1 for the regular season. I'm extremely, extremely interested, as the big boy in the Discord shouted out, to do the same exact exercise, but
Oh,
base it off of the playoffs only.
let's do
Um,
it. Let's make sure we do that.
we should do that after the season, after we win the championship, but it could change drastically based on the postseason. You know, because like Rudy has not had the best rap about playoffs and stuff like that. So I'm curious to see what happens. But yes, I think I'm comfortable going with A1 for the season because it was incredible. I last season he was if we were doing this, I'm probably I don't know meh or B because it was like somewhat of a forgettable season. Like it wasn't perfect. The fit didn't work great. Like sure he was a great defensive player, but it wasn't just wasn't the same. He early season especially, and that's the thing we were saying about a lot of Wolves, but early season especially, like we were watching him jump around as if he was like
Mhm.
22 years old. You know, it's just funny to say because Ant is like injured and can't jump anymore. But but like he was seriously so spry and fast and like athletic. He came into
Yeah,
the season so ready, and I think that should be appreciated. It was appreciated by all of us, and I think that deserving is an A1.
cool. I love it. I want more of it. I actually can't wait for to see him shine in the playoffs. I think it's gonna be the craziest of matchups for him,
I hope so.
and I think it's gonna shut up some doubters. Like I don't know, man. I'm so pumped to see and he's gonna like make this feel meaningful, and it's like he's taking it personally too. Like you can't. I
Mhm.
can't wait. I can't wait. Yo, Jaden McDaniels. Ooh, interesting. I get to read his stats. Ooh, less than interesting. Um, 10.5 points, 3 rebounds, 1.5 assists. Um, what else did we talk about? Oh, he is third on our team with fouls in a game, with 3. Um,
How about steals and assists? Sorry, did I or steals and blocks?
sure. He averages about a steal a game and just over half a block a game.
Okay.
I'll leave you to it.
Yeah, I think this was a little bit of an up and down year, but mostly a down year for Jaden.
He's
I
23 years old, by the way.
He is 23. But I think that we've seen not a ton of growth in the areas that we would need to see growth. We need to see some offensive growth. He did have at points in the season some good 3-point shots. At points, he had that one weird shot where he lays on his back and does this like crazy like fade away whatever. Um, but in general, he was never really capable of being like an offensive weapon for us other than like a handful. And by handful, I might only mean like 2 or 3 games. Um, so Carson's celebrating in his dorm.
Dude,
Um, that's
awesome.
awesome. Yeah. Um, but no, it was a disappointing year. I did notice a little bit less of his defensive presence. I was hoping that he would feel a little bit more like a lockup defender. Um, and we just didn't. I mean, we saw that, but not to the level that I was hoping. I was hoping for like him plus Gobert plus Ant plus Nah is going to be this insane, and Kyle like having that lineup or something like that would literally lock up anybody. I was so sure of it last season because Jaden last season defensively was good. I mean, I do feel like we've maybe lost a little bit each year as teams game plan against him, but um, the fouls are still a thing. Maybe not as much of a thing, but I think I'm going. I don't think it can be meh. I think it has to be a D
We don't say
or
D
D-low.
here. We
Sorry.
say yeah.
Yeah,
There
sorry,
it is.
D-low.
Um, I want to agree with you. I think I ultimately will. I am a little ashamed. I'm such a stan for the dude from Federal Way. I'm so hyped for him. And the future of the window with Ant and Jaden. That's like my Marbury and KG. You know, like not with all
Mhm.
the ego and head cases, but like and Vaseline consumption, but like uh Jaden presents an opportunity for us to be a decade long, like,
Yeah.
years of just like perimeter excellence on D.
Mhm.
And what I have not seen from him, I'm starting to see from the others. Why is Trey Murphy the third like so awesome on D and hits the corner three at an
Yeah.
insane clip? Why is Herb Jones doing the same thing? Why are all these other
Herb
players
Jones.
like
Yep.
taking this challenge? OG and Anobi, even like not even a shooter, he's
Mhm.
shooting decently from three. Like
Yeah.
and Jaden hasn't and comes and goes with confidence, and his confidence should be as an all-time high because yeah, his stats don't get recorded. Like all the things he does, the feely
Yeah.
defense that he does is not recorded. You only get to see the blocks and steals recorded. You don't get to see the hustle, the deflections, or like the opportunities where they had thought they were open, they're not, and they have to
Mhm.
pass out. But so much so, Nikhil Alexander Walker has like usurped him in terms of my rankings, in terms of like maybe spoilers for Nikhil, but like in terms of what he was able to do, and also lockdown shooter from three, and also lock down um the biggest threat on the perimeter in the second unit where he has to come in cold, right? I
Yeah.
I'm I'm still cautiously optimistic about Jaden in a weird way.
I agree.
We're talking about Cat throughout the season. This is Cat's series to shine. Kind of think this is a little bit of a Jaden series where Jaden can be excellent this
Yeah.
series.
If he can take over and he and Cat can take over this series, boy, am I back on like high vibes and I am ready for deep playoff runs. Because right now
Yep,
we really are relying so much on Ant, um, and like to an extent Cat and Rudy even, but yeah, Jaden being an X factor and being able to, like all these good teams have this other player that can offensively produce. Like look at Denver, they have Porter Jr. who can just go off, and
totally.
he's like the third option on the team. Like so if
Yep,
you can have that as your third option, or even Aaron Gordon. I mean, Aaron Gordon can produce offensively, both by driving, dunkable. I'm not saying he's the best three-point shooter. I'm not saying he's the best anything, but he can produce offensively. And we have so many nights where Jaden is a struggle. So
yeah. I also think that he is not aggressive enough in terms of getting his shot or getting the ball, which is kind of also part of the DNA of our offense. So I also rest his grade a little bit on Finch. Can we get
yeah.
Jaden the opportunities to be not just an X factor, but a factor that they have to disciplinely like game plan against? So then the paint is even more open, or Cat
Yeah.
is even less double teamed. Like they are sagging off of Jaden because the 3-point shot
Mhm.
has not been there. And
And
I'm
that's
going
the
to give him
thing.
a
Yeah.
D'Lo. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, D'Lo's right. He's open a lot of these shots. It's not like he's being contested. These are open shots that he's just missing. And I feel like those are the shots where I don't know if you have to get in the gym and work on that or what like the focus needs to be. But man, needs to happen. But
Yeah. Uh, Cool. We're going to end at kind of like a sad note in terms of like who we're going to be grading last, but TJ Warren's going to be who we're grading last. But like Mike Conley, I have a very little to say other than hell yeah, dude, hell yeah. Conley's been
yeah,
amazing. He hasn't
he
been
has
like
been.
the prophetic like ATO turnover king that he used to be, and but he has shot never better from three, and we are now asking him to be as quick and spry and not gun shy from three as well now. And
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
been moments where he was like 5 for 7 or 7 for 10 from three. He's been able to take on that challenge. And as like the old vet, he's also like an extension of the coach. I cannot speak enough about him, but his role is a fourth option, right? His role is like distribution and um getting our spots on both sides of the ball, really. And I feel like he's excelled in that in his limited ability in 11.5 points, 6 assists, 1.3 turnovers. And we can talk about the other things too, but like he's kind of a rebounder, but not really enough to talk about.
Yeah.
And he's a 90% free throw shooter. Like he's best on our team in terms of that. Um, I don't know. I'll give you the grade.
It's tricky. I feel like I might be a little lower than you, honestly. It's just because of this one stretch of the season, which maybe I'm taking way too much stock in my grade because I'm thinking because like the last couple games he's been really good and he's been really aggressive with his shot and he's been making it, which has been really good. And early season, he was also kind of that, but it was a little bit. I mean, early season Timberwolves was fantastic. I mean, we really were a great team all around. We were making a lot of shots. We were defending at a ridiculously high level. Um, and everybody was kind of getting their own, you know. If Mike wasn't, then it was Nah. If it was not Nah, it was Nas. If it wasn't Nas, it was Cat. If you know, like everybody, there was always multiple players that were going off a night, and we were stopping players on a nightly basis too. And that happened for like the first like 2 months or so of the season, 2.5 months. And then there was a little bit of a down period. But man, he was pretty solid. I think I was originally going to go B. That was kind of where my head was at, was B. I think I'm in between A and B. So if you have a strong feeling about one or the other, I am fine to go whatever. I
Yep.
honestly might be leaning a little bit more towards B, but I'm totally up to whatever you're down for.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be grading him a B, and the main
Okay.
reasons why are, um, he sometimes played off the court. Like,
Yeah.
teams are faster, smaller, or not smaller, but like bigger, stronger. His defensive acumen is like sometimes a liability where now they're game planning against Conley, and like I'm a little bit concerned for his ability to stay on the court and be strong for us. But defensively against like the Bookers and the Beals, like he's gonna let them go. Like I think he plays his best, but like sometimes his best is a little bit outdated, you know, like a little bit not antiquated, but just like a little bit slow and a step I don't know, like I might be rambling here, but I just think strongly that like if this was an A, it would be just beyond my expectations because I think my expectations for him weren't like super high, but they were
Yeah.
like, hey, we got to run our offense and like be disciplined about it. And he would do it for an extent. But so often we would like look away from Mike Conley and we would just be getting Ant ISO and Cat ISO. And like there should be a moment where Cat like Conley comes back and like says, hey, no, we're running a play or no, this can't work anymore. And he should be seeing this. And like we're leaving it to the people with low IQ to run our offense sometimes. You know, like can't happen. And I think sometimes it needs to be an aggressive stance where it needs to be like, no, you give me the ball, you know, and I didn't see that. And I'm gonna give him a B, which is almost a meh.
Yeah. I think B is fair.
Slow mo. But he was, I mean, like in his role where he was cash, you know, from three, it was awesome, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Those moments when he was on, it was lights out. It was amazing. But like,
Mhm.
yeah, I got to kind of like think and temper some of that tierflation notion with like what I also saw defensively and sometimes the other side of the coin, where he wasn't ATO king that I thought he was going to be. You know, he started out the
Yeah.
season 63-0, right? Like his ATO is insane. But
Yeah.
no, I'm just kidding. Also kidding myself is slow mo. What a crazy year he had last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Saved our season in our hearts
Mhm.
and in our mind. This year, however, 6.4 points in potentially a role shift where he was the four, right? The starting four, even in the playoffs, or you know what I mean. Um, uh, um, and 6.4 points. It's so hard to read. I'm not used to this. Sorry. 3.5 rebounds, 4.2 assists. What? Oh, I forgot about that. And a steal a game. Cool. Go ahead and take it away.
Disappointing year from Kyle. I was
Yeah.
expecting a ton coming in, and I think that's going to hurt him grade wise because I was expecting, similar to what we were talking about with Mike. Like Mike is kind of this like calm veteran presence that can kind of get things going. And last year he was able, like Kyle was able to, at times, drive and do his weird crossover and get into the lane and do his weird like fadeaway shot. Like that happened. And I'm not saying it didn't happen this year, but it was not the same level. Um, Lots of just weird looking plays, and I think a lot of it has to do early season, especially with his eye. He was really one of the only players that was not doing well early. Um, it's a struggle for me with Kyle. I don't think I can see. I can't go up to him. I'm probably in D'Lo or Wancho. I think I'm leaning Wancho, or I'm leaning D'Lo, excuse me, because he did have a couple moments through the season that were somewhat redeemable, and some have been a little bit later here too, um, in moments where we really were a little bit more on the ropes than we had been at any other point in the season. So, but really, like I guess if I'm basing it off of my expectations alone, then it's probably Wancho because I had pretty high. And not again, we're not expecting Kyle to be trouncing out there and getting triple doubles every night like he did last season because Cat was out last season. So like I understand that that's not possible. But I was expecting, a couple games like that. Also, we did have Cat out for like a month, and it didn't really happen that way. So I think mm, I can't make a decision between the two.
I don't think you're wrong. Either grade ultimately that you decide. Maybe after what I'll say, you'll have like an answer. I won't grade until you grade, honestly, but I'll say whatever I have to say. He's been mostly miserable. I think the intangibles were great and fun to see, like kind of Swiss Army knife style. Um, in a moment, in a pinch, we need some sort of like offensive change, or
Mhm.
just like to have something other than anti-ISO click in the right direction. And we weren't playing Baby Mac a lot early in the season, so Slow Mo had uh, was given a lot of the opportunity in the reins, and we were in the two big system, so like we have to play Slow Mo. But Slow Mo's being played at the three, where he's always the slower player, and maybe
Yeah.
unfortunately so. Like we're healthy and we have all of our players, but he's like in case of emergency because our players are injured or hurt or in foul trouble. That's where Slow Mo kind of comes in is at its best, where he's like not going to hurt you on either side of the court. However, this season he did. He shot like a career worst from three, and hasn't really galvanized the bench unit where I thought he would be like the secondary, third, tertiary playmaker. He's been a ball hog, like not a ball hog, sorry, like it's like a time sinker where like the ball comes to him and he just doesn't do anything right away. And it's like so obvious with like 5 seconds to go. He wants and he has the ball. It's a hot potato. He wants to get rid of it as opposed to shoot because he's so reluctant to shoot unless he's in like the post or does that little like push shot thing that he does. And even that is like not at a high clip anymore. We've seen it like all season long, but the
Yep.
preseason, like pre to trade deadline or pre All Star game, he was
Yeah.
unplayable.
He
There was this
was.
moment where maybe there was like a hope or copium that we could trade him, but
Yeah.
maybe he played himself out of any trade value. Maybe people were looking at
Mhm.
him, eyeing him like a Memphis or a team that could have used the vet or something, and which would be crazy if Memphis wanted him. But like then after the trade deadline, there was like this blip where he never played better. And I thought it was, finally he could rest because he's not getting traded. Like, ooh, finally, ooh, they believe in me. And still, like, but I think we've lost confidence in him. He's lost confidence himself. We need to find it. We need to sugarcoat whatever is great about him, but it hasn't been great this year. And I won't say a whole lot else, but I'm feeling D'Lo if not Wancho. And if we're both feeling D'Lo if not Wancho, we've won so much. We've won an incredible amount. We've had a historic year. We can't really fault him. We've like won in spite of him sometimes, which is really harsh to say. But like ultimately, I'm just feeling like Slow Mo needs to be so much more of a player in the series, or he's just not going to play.
I think you convinced me down. It's a Wancho. I think this is a Wancho of a season. There was so much of the season where he was disappointing. So much of the season where he was disappointing.
Wancho it is. Nas
Yes.
Reed, sixth man of the year finalist. Um, it can be between him and a couple other players. I don't think there's gonna be like votes for. There might be like a stray vote here or there for like a couple of players here, but like Kobe White is now a starter, right? He's not a six man anymore, and a couple other players that were like singing, like Bobby Portis and stuff like that. They might like get some stray votes, but like it's gonna be between Monk, who like honestly probably helped his case by being injured because the
Yeah.
Kings just cratered, right? And
Yeah.
but between him and Nas
Yeah.
Reed played every game except for one, apparently. I don't remember that game. Oh, maybe because he fell down hard and then he had to miss the game because of that. 13 and a half
Maybe.
points, which feels low for some reason. 5 rebounds, nothing really remarkable to share about from the rest of the stat line. However, 40% from three.
Yeah. Incredible. Also taking a lot of shots from three. He had a really nice year. Um, I will say this is where the tier list gets a little funky because, like, I kind of had higher expectations for Nas coming in this season. He signed a bigger contract. I'm expecting if he's signing a bigger contract and we're still having these two and Towns and Gobert, I'm expecting him to have some decent sized role on the team, which he did, and he did well. But I think it's closer to my expectations. Now, does that mean he's a man? No. I think this was a great Nas Reed year. It was up and down as most go, but I think generally more so up. And having him as your sixth man coming off the bench is an insane luxury because there are so many teams that would take Nas Reed on right now and be like, he's my starter. So to have him as the sixth man, insanely valuable. I'd probably go. I don't know. I think I'd probably go somewhere in like the. Uh, this is tricky. I didn't put a ton of thought into this before we did this. I had like brief thoughts on people. I think I'm maybe in like an A.
Okay. For some reason, I thought you were going to go lower, and I was going to have a talking to you offline. Nas Reed has honestly been a bit of our like blood, where we have like the Gobert as like the staple point, like the A1 in our hearts, and he's been like the anchor. The Nas Reed is our blood when we are like losing deficits, like double-digit deficits in the first quarter. He comes in, he splashes a three, cold,
Yep.
ice cold three.
Yep.
He's been asked to do so much more playmaking and like driving at an incessant rate, and he's doing it in strides. I think he's never played better. I think he's never played better both sides of the ball. Defensively,
Yeah.
I never expected him to do much. He's averaging blocks now. We get some insane blocks
Yeah.
from him, and I think there's a moment. There's the part of me that where like Nas can be part of the future core and like really establish himself as like a dominant big. It's so weird to say as an undrafted player, like to completely turn around what undrafted players look like, to be like a 6 man of the year candidate. Where I don't think that was like in our playbook, in our bingo card, in our like script in terms of what the season would go down as. I thought we would probably see a lot of what we have been seeing, but also like more Cat. Instead, we saw Cat on the sidelines for Nas.
Yeah.
And when Nas stepped into the starting role, we actually started with slow mo. And then we quickly were like, whoa, not enough offense. Injection of Nas. Nas was straight cash. Like I want to go cash on him because I think he was probably our best 3-point shooter. Happens to be a 7-footer or like 6'10" or whatever. 3-point shooter where everyone else is like their guards, they're Malik Monks, they're whoever else. We have our bigs to reestablish and reaffirm the fact that our big identity is working because we have this guy. We can spread out five if we want. Gobert, we have so much flexibility with Gobert in and off the court. We can have Cat and Nas on the court. How do you guard that shit?
Yeah, you don't. I mean, it's a mismatch for many teams, if not every team. So yeah, it was a great year from Nas. I think we briefly touched on this. Do you think he should be sixth man?
I didn't really pay attention to the other candidates.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
And I will say Malik Monk. You look at I think Nas has never had a better season, but like if you look at just the stats, it's like potentially mediocre to look at. Monk has like embraced the 6-man role. He was basically out of the league. He was playing like scrap minutes in LA and like amongst others. He got to play with his homeboy De'Aaron Fox, and he's basically like transcended that team where he's like the one option. It's like not Sabonis, it's not Fox, it's actually him. And I guess it sucks that he got injured because it really like cratered their season. But they're still in at least. I don't know. I don't think I have an answer for you. I will be super happy for him, thrilled for him, and also like if he doesn't win, he's gonna be gunning for it next year, which is exciting to hear. But maybe we should reward him. Like the fact that like it's a big. We're not going to see very many bigs as 6 men of the year anymore. Like if you look at up and down the roster, it's like a Jamal Crawford, or up and down the history of the league. It's been a Jamal Crawford, like Jordan Clarkson, like reward. Who's like a fucking springboard off the bench? Who gets buckets? He does both sides of the board of the ball now, which is awesome. Who would have expected that? Actually, I'm like I'm sure it's a cash tier.
Yeah, you can put him in cash. I'm okay with that. In regards to, but I guess both the grading and the 6-man of the year, really, I mean, Nas had a great year outside of Cat getting injured and him kind of taking over in that. But a lot of his best games obviously happened when he had more production and was a starter when Cat was out. So like that's where like the sixth man thing gets a little weird. But also Malik Monk plays so many minutes for the Sacramento Kings. It's
Yeah.
like, is that really a sixth man? Like, I guess, but like, shouldn't he just be a starter that you're just, it's like how Lou Williams was like good enough at a point to be in the starting lineup. And he's like, no, 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 no. I need to be the sixth man. So you're going to put me as sixth man. Like, that's just dumb. But
I didn't think it would take us an hour to do this. Cameron, casual 3 hour stream. We're at the almost 2 hour mark. We have 10 minutes left to do this tier list, which is cool. Thank you for giving us a cap of an hour tier maker.
seriously,
Because I think we could have gone for 4 more hours, casually, of course. Hashtag analysis, hashtag vibes, hashtag giveaway. I know that a lot of people
hashtag
are still here
giveaway.
for the giveaway. We're getting more and more people, which is exciting. Nikhil Alexander Walker. Dude, I don't even have to read his stats.
I
Hey,
know.
he's been amazing.
I might go higher. I might go cash. I think he had way more shoot. He had like times last year in the playoffs is when he kind of started to really pop off for us, and it was like, okay, he could maybe be something. He's on a tiny, tiny contract. He was basically a throw in a trade. I was like, I both feel like he can do well, but I also am like, well, I mean, he has been thrown to the side by teams where it's like we don't view you as an asset. And now he comes onto the team, and I don't know. I mean, this is all like brain tricks because there's certain players that I see them hit threes. Like Malik Beasley is a prime example of somebody where like he missed so many threes when he played for us, but when I would see him take a three, I believed it was going in every time, and I remember them swishing every single time. So, but like obviously that didn't happen. And with Nah, there's a little bit of that, but I really do think, I mean, Nah just played so much better than I expected, both offensively. I've loved his defense. I was joking early season about how he was better than Jaden in a lot of situations. Um, in some ways, he kind of was. But I love Nas' game. I really hope he has a future here with the Timberwolves because I I need him on the team long term.
Yeah, there's might be a point where he's taking the starter reins, and it might be quicker than you think. It might even be in this series coming up, where I think there might be a moment where it's just like it's not enough from a certain other player that we need to throw Na in. And I'm not going to name that player. It could be one of two players. So, like I think he has been one of the brightest spots this season. Could not believe that we got the 3 point shooting from him that we have. I think it was like an understated like comment that he just keeps building his resume. He keeps adding to his game. And
Yep.
you know what's the best part of his game? It's that it's like simple, predictable, and reliable.
Mhm.
Like I cannot believe how many times I'm like, I'd rather just see Na out there, and I'd rather have the 3 point shooting come from Na or Nas. Like I don't want anyone else to really shoot other than those two.
Yeah, I know. It's weird. So I feel
I'm
good about Cash, but
dude, fucking A, let's go. We're on an Anthony Hollis timer now. We had an
we
hour
are on
going.
the timer.
Baby Mac, we didn't see him for most of the season, and in fact, it was like up until like the halfway point where we started to see him sort of emerge. And I think it's been late where he has established himself as the backup guard. Like we see him in bursts of the second quarter and fourth, and we got Monte Morris as insurance. Um, while his stats won't wow you, I think his grade might be exceeding at least my expectations. Three
Yes.
in 8 in 56. By the way, Na played all 82. One of like 8 players or 10 players to play all 82 games. That
That's
has got
awesome.
to say for something. Reliability as well as just availability is another trait of his. Yo, Jordan McLaughlin, 56 games only. In 11 minutes, 3.5 points and 2 assists, and
It doesn't matter.
it doesn't
This
matter.
is like he was incredible this year. I thought he was gonna be a goner this year. Totally. I was
Oh,
just like, it's over. Like, I have no belief. Like he's had some bright spots, but like he isn't like super young either. Like we're talking like what is he? Like 20, I mean, relatively in the realm of basketball young. Like he's like 26 or something like that, I think. I could be wrong. I hope I'm not
oh,
insanely wrong and he's like
he's
21 or something.
28.
He's 28. Yeah. He's the same age as Towns. So like
Hmm.
that's That's crazy. And that's why I was like, it's just over. I don't think there's much going to happen. Like we've seen kind of the same things. He had a really bad season last year, and I was like, this might be over. This might be it. So my expectations, and again, this is where the tier list gets funky because my expectations were rock bottom low. Like I was not expecting anything. I was expecting it to be Nah. I was expecting it to be other people that maybe took over. Um, I was like, oh, Shake's gonna take over, which is like a crazy thing to
Oh,
say.
that's
But
right.
like,
We had Shake. That's
yeah,
that's right.
yeah. So I was
Wow.
thinking it was over.
Pour
And
one out for Shake.
he that was this was as the best 3.5 point season ever.
Wow.
Like this, he shot so well. I mean, now I watch him shoot threes and I'm like, they're going in every single time. I just believe it. So I don't know. This is a weird grade, but I almost feel like I feel like he's cash. I don't know. Is that crazy for 3.5
No,
points?
I will I will disagree with you there.
Oh man, I think he had a
I'm
great
sorry.
season.
Okay. You could convince me. I think you might have already done so. Um yeah, his best he's like kind of like he can't hurt you when he's out there. He's small. He looks like he's frail. He looks like he can't actually run in this league, you know. I feel like his size is going to take him out of the league, yet he's so reliably there. He exists which is a weird thing to compliment someone for, to say he's just there. But there's a reason why we went with him over Shake Milton. There's a reason why Shake Milton stopped playing for JMac. There's a reason why we tried to get a Monte Morris, because we couldn't like conceivably like expect this from JMac to persevere. But he's played Monte Morris out of the rotation, and um, I don't think he hurts us one bit. In fact, if we
Yeah.
need more pace, if we need more playmaking, and Mike Conley's hurt or injured, or in foul trouble, which never happens, or like is turning over the ball,
Yeah.
or is missing, which sometimes happens, insert a little injection of Babynac, and I kind of feel like we get it all. We even get some rebounding, offensive rebounding out of him, and um, it's been a pleasure to see him grow, not physically, but just like as a player. And I'm kind of with you for 3.5 points a game. However, it kind of feels crazy to put him
It
ahead of
does.
fucking
I mean, it does feel kind of crazy. But he was,
and
I mean, like, I'm just saying, based off of my expectations, he's wildly surprised me. So yeah, maybe cash is too much. I'm seeing people
I
say that they're
even feel A
unsubscribing
as
in the
well.
chat. So
That's
um
fair. We care more about the 3.5 than we care about the 25.9. No, I think ultimately this is just above my expectations. Not in terms of this like crazy amazing year, because that would have made him a six man. Like that he would have been like no question asked. Let's add him into the rotation. I think he's just a spot minute third string point guard, and he
yeah.
excels in that role. I guess we can't fault him for a high
He's a
grade
cash tier,
or
third tier player. Nope.
yeah, yeah. I think he's a B.
Oh, you think he's a B? Oh, I was hoping you were gonna say A.
Okay,
I
well, let's
mean,
go. Let's go A.
but the thing is, like, how much am I really gonna argue for an A from a player that,
We got 2
like,
minutes. We
real
got 3 minutes. Let's go
Oh,
A.
yeah, okay,
Let's
fine,
go.
we'll do B. Well, you can do B,
No,
you can do
I
B.
want A.
Oh,
You
okay.
convinced me. Leonard Miller. I'm excited for you. Also, we saw absolutely nothing of you. I think you were a G League king. I'm not going to read his stats. What's your grade?
That's okay. Probably meh. I mean, like, it just wasn't
Ooh.
like, we didn't really get to see much, and I don't really know
Luca
anything what to
Garza.
expect.
He can do no wrong in my hearts. I think he's just super underutilized. I wonder why we still have him. However, I'm so scared if we give him away. I think like anytime
I
we play
know,
against a team who has him,
I
he's gonna
know.
fucking dumpster us.
We have too many bigs, too many good
Too big.
bigs. Yeah, Luca for this season, again, it's just so difficult when I play very little minutes. I'm gonna go a B. I don't know.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, he played well when he came in. Are you arguing for higher?
Yeah, I don't know. Like the way that we gave Baby Mac, I feel like his impact on the team has been visceral. But like we lose that Phoenix game by like 40, if not for Luca Garza. I'm just kidding. Um, I don't know, man. What is his role? Like he plays maybe right? Like he plays maybe. Like, and when he plays, it's like no one actually can really resist it. Like, was just I don't know what to say. No one can really stop him, and I think he played the Jokic role. I remember. I feel like we played Denver, and he played Jokic well.
Yeah. Well,
That was one
yeah,
game,
it
of
was
course.
okay. It was okay. It was acceptable. But
Dude, I don't know, man. With
well,
1 minute to go, I don't know what to say.
yeah, we get
I want to
60
say a whole lot
seconds.
more. I'm gonna give him a
You
B.
okay.
Monte Morris, with a minute left. I don't want to read the stats. I feel like he came
Yeah.
in, he gave us a bit of a jolt of identity, and he hasn't really done much with it. Also, I think Finch has a problem where he needs to play Baby Mac and Monte Morris, and he doesn't know which one. It's whoever's riding the hot hand, and I think he's relying more on Baby Mac. Go ahead.
I think it's just quickly. I think it's a C or maybe a D-low, but I think C just because he didn't seem ready when he came to the Wolves, and he just nothing really happened out of it. I don't know.
Here at Wolves
Yeah,
After Dark, there is no such thing as a C tier.
that's meh meh.
All right, with 20 seconds to go, we got Finch.
Finch. Oh, quick, we can
Wait,
very quickly do that. Oh man,
skip,
I have.
skip. Who am I? You got 15 seconds.
uh,
Don't answer the question.
I'm thinking. I have 10 seconds.
Remember Gerald. Remember Flo.
I think D'Lo.
He got votes for Coach of the Year, by the way.
Yeah, he should not have.
Oh, time's up. I didn't actually enter a Flo grade. I'm gonna put meh.
A flow grade.
The live event has ended. I can no longer add TJ Warren. I'm sorry.
TJ
Rest in
Warren,
peace. Rest in
no.
peace, TJ Warren. Let's look at the results.
Well,
You guys are still here. 135 plus of you. And you were gonna say something and I interrupted you.
uh, yeah, you'll never know what our official thoughts on Finch are. So you'll just have to guess.
Holy fuck. I think he did way better than
Yeah, okay.
wait,
I was forced into 10 seconds. I'm thinking you said think flow, and I hate flow, so I said D'Lo. You know, realistically, yes. Okay, he's an offensive genius or whatever, which we still have yet to see. But defensively, like having the top defense, I know a lot of that's Gobert, but like having the top defense as like an offensive coach is a very positive thing. So I can see that being higher, but there were still too many mistakes in the season. Timeout usage was very strange. How many times in the Discord, shout out the Discord, were we talking about lineups and like, why are we doing this? Why are we playing Kyle and like all the non-offensive players at the same time? Um, Very weird. Wow, 67 participants and 300
300
votes.
votes and only like 15 of them were
And we
ours.
didn't even
14.
explain the
Sorry.
rules.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, we're gonna see what everyone else did, and I'm expecting Finch to go up. I'm expecting Baby Mac to not even be graded, and maybe a higher grade for Jaden. I actually or a slow mo. I'm not sure.
Mm,
Maybe a lower
Let's see
grade
what
for.
happens.
All right, let's see what happens. Wah. Ooh,
Okay.
oh, Baby Mac got an
Hey,
A.
that's what I'm talking about.
TJ Warren got graded.
TJ Warren did get graded.
Oh, speaking of tierflation, look at you guys tierflating the fuck out of
Tierflation is
Mo.
crazy.
So many A's.
I'm
Just to, just to
unsubscribing.
just to get gentlemen swept by the Suns. Oh my god, look at this. Just kidding.
Okay, so
Forever.
cash tier for Rudy. I can. Oh yeah, you want to go to average?
So that was average, and most votes it doesn't. It just changed. Oh, most votes. Nas goes up to.
Okay,
Oh my god, slow mo goes to a meh. No, we're not
that's
looking at that again.
crazy.
No. Put you back down to your place. You belong. You belong here. Cool. That was like super fun to do. I think it was much longer than I expected. We are now
Yeah, I
2
was
hours
not
in to
anticipating.
our fucking show. Sorry, Maddie. Shout out Maddie. And I know what you guys are all here for. It's not for us to
You,
continue talking.
it's to do another tier list because we did it wrong the first time. No. W tier list. Call me a casual. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Awesome.
We had a tier plate. You guys were tripping. Squirrely, squirrely. I feel like most of it was directed at me. JJ, I will not take any of the slander about Ant. I will say the one quick thing I will say on Ant is that it was definitely not a consistent like A tier or whatever. Like he had spikes of A1 tier and then he had a lot of like Matt and D'Lo, so that kind of averages out into like the A tier for me. That's
Yeah.
how I do it.
By the way, how crazy was it? We saw like single digit outings and performances from Ant. He was
Yeah,
noticeably, visibly hurt, and he's still persevering, punching through it. And like,
yep.
fuck that. Like, take him out and like give him some rest because I'd rather have
Mhm.
him not hurt him and his chances at like, performing as well as like our tier list is like cratered when we see performances like that because like in our hearts he's an A1, but like
Mhm.
maybe in terms of an actual average grade, he's probably like an A, and that's what he was. Like he could have been
Yeah.
so much better, like with maybe a couple games off here and there because like he was injured or sick or something like sometimes. So,
Mhm.
anyways, dude, GG to you. This was super fun. I actually didn't expect this to be as fun as it was because I was like, recap the
I
entire goddamn season. No, I didn't want to do
I
that.
was like, yeah, I was like borderline not looking forward to this because I was like, this is kind of a lot of work. Like this isn't easy.
Yeah,
Um,
but we did a lot of prep work for this.
so much prep work.
So much prep work.
Um, cool. Well, um, let me make sure I'm going to put out another plea to everybody because I think you guys are here for some giveaways, and we're going to do giveaways a couple different ways. So, um, first, I think we probably want to do the jersey giveaway. That's the one that people are looking forward to. So we're going to do the jersey giveaway, and that is for hitting 2,000 followers on Twitter. Oops, thank you. That is amazing. Seriously, you guys are crazy. I
Crazy.
really appreciate it. So, um, let's see. Jersey giveaway now. Okay. We're going to do jersey giveaway and we're going to do it a way that we've done before. Now, this is an extremely painful way. So, if you don't care about winning a jersey and you don't want to be here, I understand. So, but what we're going to do is you're going to have to put a keyword in the chat, and that is how it is won. So,
Oh,
this is if you remember the Anthony Hollis incident, that is how it is. Oh, also I want to make sure that we let the Discord know too. Um, so let me copy this link here real quick. Um, sorry
wow.
everybody.
It's all good.
Jer-
42, 9, and 6 from Kobe White. God.
He went crazy. I can't believe the Bulls won. I cannot believe it. I told everybody that I actually predicted all 4 games. No, I predicted that
Lakers.
the 76ers would win, but
Oh,
everyone else I think I did wrong. Um,
and we're subscribed to you?
and you're subscribed to me. The brains here. Um, okay. So how this works, you're going to have to comment in chat on YouTube. So you also need to be subscribed on YouTube and you need to like the stream on YouTube. All of these things are necessary, otherwise you cannot win.
Come to
So
YouTube. Brown
come to
Shawarma.
YouTube. Brown
Haley.
Sharma.
Sure.
Yes.
And there's someone else. I'm sorry.
Haley, it's looked like you've been talking to yourself the
Super,
entire time, but
yeah. We see
have
you.
at it.
We appreciate you.
Yes.
Super Manly, come on over to YouTube.
Yes. What's a YouTube?
What is a YouTube?
Um,
For those who don't know.
This Wolves game on Saturday is going to be rockets. Hopefully, I'll be there. See you there, Haley. Anyways, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you like the stream. Also, if you haven't followed us on Twitter, follow us on Twitter. If you haven't followed us on TikTok, follow us on TikTok. All the stuff. Now, to get into the giveaway, I'm going to give you a word here to type in chat. I am going to type it into chat as well so that it's easy for you to understand. You can just copy and paste it if you want, but you have to type it correctly. And I have no way of contacting you through YouTube. So you need to, after you've won, you need to find a way to get in the chat and say like your Twitter handle without the at, or some kind of like on Discord, you have to say your Discord username, something. One of those things needs to happen. And if you don't, we're going to move on. We're not going to sit around here for 3 more hours waiting for giveaways and stuff like that. So it needs to be fast. Wait, type correctly? Yes, FJD, you know this. So the keyword, remember, you're going to have to be on Discord or you're going to have to be on Twitter and share that very quickly in the chat after this has happened. So, all right. The keyword, I'm going to put it on YouTube. So make sure you're here. I have to start this? I don't even remember. Actually, here, 1 second. Make sure I got this up and running here. Yes. There we go. Almost messed it up. It is going to be one word.
Forbes jersey.
Please be a Forbes jersey. It is a jersey of your choice. Now, really, at the end of the day, what I'm going to do is I'm probably just going to give you a gift card for the Fanatics store for like, I think it's like $120 or something like that for most jerseys. Some are 80, some are 130. It's weird. It's just in between. But the word, I'm typing it in chat, is Wad Gang. Wad Gang in chat. Make sure you get that in there. Put that in chat. Yes, I see you all getting there. This is fantastic. Remember, you're going to have to be able to message me on Discord or Twitter. And if we don't hear from you within like 2 minutes after this happens, we're moving on. As sad as that is, it's happening. It's happening. So get it in quickly. We've got it. We got it. We're going. I'm going to give you guys a couple more seconds. It's Wad Gang. We got a lot of Wad Gang in here. Love it. Fantastic. Wad Gang is the entry code. Also, we got to do a giveaway. So many wads. Look at this. This is crazy.
Shoot your wad, man.
Wad Gang. Hey, Brian's here. Awesome. Brian, you were one of the first giveaway winners of this, I think, actually. Okay. We're going to wait 30 seconds and then we're just going. Maybe not even 30 seconds. Maybe like 15 seconds. Okay?
I'm going to give you a couple conspiracy theories to find by the time Wad Gang, everyone, we get Glue Girl back. And she wears a disguise. She's usually not allowed back in the building, but she's wearing a disguise and she checks through security. And it's going to
Carson said that they were going to go and bring glue if they needed to, even since they won tickets. So,
but to everyone who's going to Target Center in Game 1, it's going to smell like Glenn Taylor's feet.
And we're going to meet up. We're going to do a meetup. Okay.
She can't do glue. She's got to do something else.
Something different. Gotta. There are some seats available by Glenn Taylor, I saw. Okay. We're choosing a winner. We're rolling a winner in 5, 4. This is for a jersey. 3, 2. We're going to do one more giveaway after this for some Wolves After Dark merch. So don't leave after this.
Whoa. What are we doing?
1. Rolling. Hey, call me casual. There we go. You get a jersey. Congrats. You're a longtime follower too, so that's awesome. Appreciate that. I think you're in the Discord, right? Yeah, you're in the Discord. So just shoot me a message in the Discord. I will get all the info that I need from you. I might just end up needing email, all that kind of stuff. And like I said, it's going to be like a gift card so that you could, I mean, hypothetically, I guess you don't have to buy a jersey, but it is meant to be a jersey. You could buy other things too if you feel like it, but the intent is a jersey, so that would be cool. Call me a casual. I don't even know if you're here. Are you here right now? I mean, you must be here, sort of. So that's awesome. Way to go. Call me a casual. You won. Now, on to the next. We're going to do, I know I can get in contact with Call Me a Casual somehow.
There it is.
So appreciate it. Yeah, I know you're here. I can talk to you. Yes, Jaden time. Awesome. Cool. Okay. Of course. No, thank you. You did it. That's awesome. All right. I will reach out to you. Reach out to me in Discord if you can. That's the easiest way. I'll try to find you there too afterwards. But yes, and it'll be worked out over the next couple days, I promise. So next, we're starting over again. Okay. This is for actually, no, we're not going to do it on here. We're going to do it in the Discord. So let me get the Discord link. Unless Ashwin has it even handier than I do, but I can probably pull it up here real quick. We're going to put something in Discord because I want to make sure you guys get in Discord because that is where we all talk. We're going to do some meetups. We're going to do more giveaways. So I want to make sure you guys are here. Here we go. All right. Discord giveaway.
You got the chat link or whatever?
You do? Perfect. Okay, I just put it in the chat.
Oh, you do?
Yep, sorry. I was half listening to what you were saying and responding. Make sure you join the Discord and go to that. It's going to take you right to the giveaways channel. We're giving away 3. Let's see. I'm trying to think. We're going to give away 3 shirts, but I was going to try to think of what shirt it could be. I'll let you guys choose whatever shirt you want it to be. It can be a cash shirt, it can be a Wolves After Dark shirt, it can be a Wolves back shirt. Um, it can be any of that stuff. But let me get it created here and stop talking and just do it. We're only going to have it run for 3 minutes because we're going to get out of here quickly. 3 um, merch shirt of your choice. All right.
And go ahead.
I've submitted it. Boom. Wow,
Merch shirt
instant.
of your choice. 3
I don't know. I
winners.
didn't know how to
Whoa.
say it. But
So this is
cool.
in Discord in the giveaway channel. It's not on here. We don't have to say like a specific word like wad gang. What? Wad gang? What was
Yeah,
it?
you don't have to do WAD gang.
Suns fan here. I'm not trying to tell you guys. I'm just getting reconnaissance information.
Okay, yeah, sounds
Well, you should have
good.
listened to us in the first hour and a half
You
portion of
should
our
have.
broadcast.
The
At least
first hour
on
and a
one
half.
side of the fence, it was blisteringly in your favor. I'm gonna go ahead and also spam the merch shop.
Oh, perfect. I was just gonna do that. That's
Because
crazy.
why not? Oh, you did it as I did it, or I don't know what that was. In case
Yes,
you
if
don't win and you do want to rep the
yeah,
city, rep the squad, rep our community, but also just like have a fun shirt, like cash or 2 words in Oz Read or cat horizontal or vertical on your shirt. Um,
yeah,
dude, let's shout out to Cameron. This is all Cameron. It's all you guys to giving us
yeah. It's
the
not me.
energy and motivation to get this moving. And then all
Yeah,
the money is going back into you. So whatever shirts you end up
mhm.
buying, all that money that like whatever amount of money that we may or may not get from the
Which is
shirt
like
shop,
nothing.
which is not
Yeah,
a whole lot. It's just going right
yeah,
back into you guys anyways. So don't worry about
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Cool. We could wait a little bit longer, but it actually we will have to wait in exactly 1 more minute.
yeah.
If you guys are in
To-
for another conspiracy thought, let me know.
Yeah. I will answer Essay's question real quick. Does the shirt have to be under a certain dollar amount? No, as long as it's just one of the t-shirts, that's all that I really care about. We're not doing a hoodie, and I guess I was meaning to do a short sleeve t-shirt. So that's kind of the idea. But really, I mean everything's pretty similarly priced, so it's not really that big of a deal. But yeah,
You saw
t-shirt.
you saw the oh wait, actually I'll shut up.
Oh yeah, because it's about to happen. Oh, you got
Oh no,
58
we got 15
seconds.
minutes.
Yeah. How do I
Um
gift memberships? I only see stickers. It's possible you may not be able to do it on whatever device you're on, Oreo. You might have to do it on a computer. If you only see that, I mean, because I have membership gifting on my end, so that should be a thing. Um, Again, you certainly don't have to. We appreciate it, and everything, like we just said, goes into giveaways like this, so you definitely don't have to. But yeah, go on. If you go on like a computer, you usually see that. Certain devices allow you to. I don't think certain phones don't let you. I think certain mobile devices don't allow you to.
there's 154 of you guys here, and only 18 of you guys have signed up for the giveaway. So go ahead, click on that giveaway icon. And with like 10 seconds left, I'm just going to give you a conspiracy theory. You saw the Target Center is like prepping for whiteout on game 1 on Saturday.
Mhm.
We're actually going to make actual changes to the box score, but you're not going to know. We're going to white it out.
Oh, there we go.
That's how we're going to win
Oh,
game 1.
all right. Good. I was kind of worried this giveaway bot might not be working because we had like I think June won like 2 times in a row, and I was like, oh, this is a problem. But we got some new names: Sabrina, Larso Rude, and Manimal. 3. That's 3 new names. So I will be DMing
Congrats,
you
Sabrina.
all
Congrats,
a
everyone.
little bit after the stream, probably a little ways. So don't be alarmed if I don't reach out to you right after. I have to like decompress after the stream, but I will talk to all 3 of you, let you know, and get you some stuff. But again, if you want to just get your own merch and you don't really care about like winning it or whatever, spamming the link again in chat. Check it out. The shipping's not too long. Usually, it only takes like 7 days or 7 or less days, so it's not the craziest thing. Also, I guess I should say something also. I believe that we do have a sale coming up. I think the website that we use has a sale coming up here soon in like 3 days. I think on the 20th, there's like a 15% off sale or something like that. So if you wanted to wait too, that would be a good opportunity. Of course, 15% off like a $25 shirt is nothing like crazy. But if you wanted to maybe save like a couple bucks on it, that would be good. Yeah, 420 sale FJD. This website knows what it's about. Cool. Awesome. Well, This is
Sensational.
this is a long strain.
Sensational.
This is sensational. I think to conclude, I shared my heart and my brain, and I came to the conclusion that I don't know that
You don't know.
I'm not confident in the Timberwolves winning. However, it sounds like you are.
You got to be. I mean, I feel
Yeah.
like I'm OE faithful. I've been here, ride or die. I felt like when we had Randy Foy, we were just a couple pieces away. Fuck that. We were never anywhere close to that. So I'm kind of giving myself a little bit of copium excitement for game one. Maybe it's going to disappoint me, and I will just be ripping my hairs out of this stupid ass beer that I pasted on, and um just like think about ways to make adjustments. But like, I'm just a fan. I'm a super fan. I can't root for my team harder from afar. Um, I don't make any decisions. So it's like, it's up to me. Not at all. Like, it's like, I can't wait to see what Finch can do. I can't wait to see what Cat ultimately has to do, you know? And
Yeah.
Ant is going to be like, Ant is going to make us dunk, and it's going to make us like fucking scream. Right? It's going to happen.
Scream. Yeah.
We're going to have this crazy Jaden momentum changing three. We're going to have Rudy, like fucking hush the crowd, you know, like we're gonna have all sorts
Ruflex
and Ruflex, of course. And I don't know, man. I think we're gonna have some swinging monumental like changes that I think national media who covers us only when like Ant dunks, and like other teams media and general thoughts, like they don't know. And I think I'm just kind of like spitting out nonsense as well. But I have a feeling that like I feel like we just will not get swept. I feel like I have a strong feeling that we have a lot more variables at play, a lot more potential flexibility. And even if Cat gets into foul trouble, we go to Nas.
Yeah.
And I'm not actually concerned about that. And I think that for a large reason, they have to kind of like react to us, and they can't, because they can only go kind of one way. They have to play small, they have to play spread, and I don't think I can really see KD popping off for 60. You know, like I really can't see that, and so their lights out shooting has ended in the postseason, and now the postseason starts. I feel like we're going to have so much more of our perimeter defensive juggernauts shine brighter when the game gets slower, as we saw in the first half of like the fucking Sixers and Heat game, as well as like, you know, the game versus the Lakers and the Pels. Like the defensive units really shine bright. Like the Keon Ellis, dude, Steph was nothing. Keon Ellis like shined so bright in that game. I feel like strongly about that. Even in the Denver series last year, it was a competitive 5-game series because we played so goddamn well defensively, and they were aces from the perimeter until the series.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel strongly that I think we have
it can change. It can change in the playoffs, and for the Timberwolves' sake, I hope it does, because you know, we didn't have a great season against the Suns specifically, pretty much only the Suns. But yeah, I am, you know, I certainly hope it's a good outcome, because I will be there for game one.
There, man. Yeah, they're gonna win for you, man.
I hope so. If they win game one, I know I've been kind of negative on the series as a whole, but really, if they win game one, I am completely changing my tune, because I think that game one is just so important for momentum. I understand that like the Suns are going to come back game two and game plan for everything that went wrong in game one if we win. But I really think that if this Minnesota team can win game one, you can't. There's certain things you can't game plan against. You just have to hope that it just goes your way. And there's a lot of things like that with us. So, you know, if Ant goes nuclear, if Cat shoots really well, if Na shoots really well, if Jaden shoots really well, if Rudy is like a force in the post and defensively, I mean, you know, that's a problem for them too. I'm only like, I talked a lot about how it's like KD, Beal, Booker, and Grayson Allen. Like, we have to stop them. Well, there are players that they have to stop on our end too. It's not just like we're a completely garbage offensive team. I mean, we've had moments this season of garbage, but like, we are not an offensive garbage team. So, especially in the playoffs, hopefully. So, I'll be excited. I really would love to meet up with some of you guys. If you guys are going to game one, or want to just hang out, have a Wolves After Dark meeting. I don't know. There's this place. What's that Parkway Pizza place that they're doing all the honk if you love Nas Reed kind of a
really
thing?
Cool idea. Yeah.
That would be kind of a fun thing to do. We could maybe meet up for pizza for something.
Social. You know, shout out to Cameron and his ice cream.
Yes, that's true. Yes. Oh my gosh. But No, yeah, it would be fun to meet up. So join the Discord if you haven't already. Um, and I
Coop's
hope
going
that we
game
have
one, right?
I don't know actually.
I thought he said
Is
he was going
he
to meet up with you guys.
Coop? I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe I could be totally wrong, but I'll have to double check, see who's all gone. But I'm excited for the series. Um, and man, if we win, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna
We'll
be
be
so fun.
live.
We will be live after every game. Again, we didn't get to 100 likes live on the stream. I have a feeling we might get to 100 live likes afterwards, after people watch tomorrow and the next day, because a lot of people like to watch us. I don't know if they're going to watch 2.5 hours, but
Guys.
um,
Yeah.
but um, but if you're still here, like the stream, um, and we're hopefully going to be giving away some game 2 tickets on Saturday's stream. So very exciting. Yeah, we can meet at the Spoon, Coop and the Spoon. Um, I'll be in 219 if my tickets ever decide to show up. Yeah, party in 219. I think I'm in 203. I think. Oh, actually, I don't know. What about the schedule? Raymond says. Raymond, you're the Suns fan, right? We're not giving you any intel. No. Um,
We have
no.
a Saturday, Tuesday.
Yeah. So the schedule. Actually, that's a good point to bring up the schedule. Yeah, it's Saturday at 2:30 Central. Of course, Central. We're West Coast, so it's like weird. We're broken. But
Oh,
two
FJD's
thirty
in
Central.
106.
Hey,
Oh,
FJ. Oh yeah,
sorry. I'm
FJD
sorry,
has
man.
season tickets. That's right. That's right. 6:30 on Tuesday, so we have 2 days off in between games. And then again, two games off, or 2 days off between the next game, which is next Friday, at 9:30 Central. That's crazy.
Those are
In,
some
at
crazy teams.
at Phoenix, and then there's an 8:30 game Central on Sunday. So yeah, over the next, let's see, like over the next 9 days, we play 4 games. So it's pretty sparse, which is good. I mean, you want to have time to game plan and heal, and you want to be like, you don't want it to be a situation where you're like, oh gosh, this is tricky, and like we got to get our players back to normal real quick. Like you want to have a couple days game plan rest, and I think that could work in favor for our guys. Ant needs break, so that would be good. But all right, well, I don't really have anything else. I mean, we could go on for another couple hours if you guys feel like it. But Ashwin, you got any closing words? I know you kind of already said some stuff, but
Well, I haven't really gotten to all the questions and theories that I wanted. I'm just kidding. Let's end this crap and go to bed.
Let's go to bed. Yeah,
Dude, shout out Maddie. What the hell? 2.5 hours of. She looks like she's just sitting in darkness. I don't know what's going on over there in your place.
she is sitting in darkness. I didn't even realize that is her, isn't it?
Well, shout out to all of you guys. Dude, I can't wait for game one. I'm pumped. And I think, yeah, I don't know if we've ended a season as like poorly as we have in a while.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
Like everything has been kind of like miraculously in our favor or in our advantage when we got to like game 82 before, the play in with Denver and with the Jimmy Butler years. And then we weren't in the playoffs for a little bit. And then we got, basically in through the play in against Memphis, in through the play in to face Denver. Like we had to win to get in. And now we won enough to like potentially get off the gas pedal a little bit. And like we
Yeah.
didn't end the series as like strong as we have seen. So the vibes were kind of low. And I think we have been kind of as a fan base, but just like generally also just because every win
Mhm.
it feels good, every loss feels bad. You kind of look at the silver linings throughout all, but like the 3 losses against Phoenix is telling. But I think
Mhm.
there's such a different energy in the playoffs. And I think like I just think we
Yeah,
have a lot to prove. And
we
by
do.
the way, so does Phoenix. And if
They
they
do.
lose
Yep.
this series, like, oops,
Big change.
it's a big change.
Yeah, it's a big change for them. Yeah. Last thing I'll say before we really, really wrap this up is there is this possibility. Yes, no, I totally agree. There is this possibility. There is a storybook path here for the Timberwolves.
Oh,
If we can beat the team that we did not beat all season in a series, that's an incredible feat, I think. Because this is a serious Suns team. Like this is a good Suns team that should have probably been. I actually had a bet early on in the season where I bet for them to win the championship because I thought this was just going to be their year. Um, so that that's a big feat to overcome. And then you go to the next series, and it's likely going to be Denver, another team that you've had struggles beating. Not that you haven't, but you've had struggles. You do match up well with them, but they still just get the best of you each time. If you could beat them, that's incredible. And then the next round, likely in my eyes, is probably going to be OKC, but it could also be the Mavs. Um, Both of those are worthy opponents. And OKC has had a lot of beef with Timberwolves fans and Twitter and all the online stuff. And so that would be a very fitting Western Conference Finals. The two kind of younger up and coming teams, we're not really that young, but like the up and coming teams battling for the finals. And then the last thing, I think Boston's coming out of the East, and it would be the Timberwolves versus Boston. And those two games have been the best games all season. We won one, they won one, both overtime games, both exciting games. Seriously, if you have nothing to do over the next day, watch both Boston games. It was super fun. Even the one that we lost, it was fun to watch. So there's a path, and the only path is a very exciting path. But we're just gonna have to wait and see. And I agree with the comment that you put up earlier. Noah said it. I think somebody else said it earlier too. Game one decides so much. So we'll see. But it was great. Thank you guys for hanging out. If you haven't already, please like the stream. It would be awesome. You know, we don't ever ask that you guys have to do anything monetarily, but if you guys could like the stream, that seriously does help us out a ton. It like when we get more likes on the stream, the more people it gets out to, and the bigger audience that we get. And you know, we've met so many friends here,
Yeah,
and
that's
it's been
true.
awesome. We've met a lot of people here, and then the Discord. Like I go to the Discord every day, and I never used to do that ever. And now I'm talking to people on the daily in Discord. Super fun. And you're laughing, so I must have said the C word some at some
No,
point. But
no. I'm laughing at Gerald being like, he's gonna fall on his sword and skip game one.
oh, Gerald, don't do that, Gerald. Only if we're struggling.
You
Um,
can't be typing in chat at 5 in the morning on a Tuesday, an irrelevant Tuesday, and then skip the game one.
yeah. Anyways, well, I appreciate you all. Like I said, check us out everywhere. Wolves After
Gerald
Dark.
is the X factor.
Gerald is the X Factor. But we hit 52 wins. The meme. We'll start it over again next season. Now it's just 16 wins, as you said last time. So great to see you. Thanks for hanging out. I will message all you giveaway winners here shortly tonight or either tomorrow morning, but I've already seen some of the messages coming through, so I'll probably get back to you guys tonight. But that's it.
That's it.
We'll see you after the first playoff game on Saturday. And just forgive us if we're a little late because I will be at the game and I'm going to try to stream somehow from the game. I don't know how this is going to happen. It might even have to just be delayed a bit, and I might join like once I'm out of like Minneapolis or something like that
Dude, we'll just be
in the
vibing until
car.
you get here. We'll be live.
Yeah,
We'll be
you
vibing.
guys vibe, and then I'll join. But it'll be fun. Anyways,
Yep.
intro as the outro. We will see you guys after game one Saturday. Peace.